as we continue Jim Valvano's fight against cancer.
You're watching Dr. Pepper Championship Week.
Welcome back to Las Vegas. Pac-12 Conference Championship game. Oregon and Utah coming up. Utah unity has been a powerful theme all season. This team has been galvanized by a pair of tragedies. Ty Jordan, former Ute, self-inflicted accidental gunshot wound to the abdomen, Christmas Day 2020. Aaron Lowe, his best friend, switched his number to 22, and then he was shot and killed at a house party after the Washington State game. Two Texans, best friends, and all the Utes say they felt their presence watching over them. They are playing for something bigger than themselves, remembering 22 forever. Holly, you live in Salt Lake. You've witnessed the emotion of this story for the last year or so.
Well, it's been hard. People have gone through things that they should never have to go through, including their moms. And it was really beautiful to see Donna walk out there tonight. Aaron Lowe's mother is here as an honorary captain for this Utah team. And she said, I'm so honored. I'm so glad they asked me. And it means the world to me that they are keeping my son's memory alive. Both Ty Jordan and Aaron Lowe would be playing in this game tonight, guys. That's how fresh and raw and real this tragedy is. The entire team going to their funeral in Mesquite, Texas. Pallbearers for the casket. It has shaped this team in tragedy this season, but they have come together in brotherhood, and they are determined to be 22% better in everything they do. And to end this season, this horrible tragedy of a season with a championship, would be a beautiful thing for this Utah team that's gone through so much.
Perfectly said. Our thoughts for the folks of Mesquite, Texas, and West Mesquite High School, where both Jordan and Lowe attended. So two teams inspired in different ways, set to play for a spot in the Rose Bowl. Oregon won the toss and deferred. Utah Utes will get the football first. Wearing the all-black uniforms, that was captain's choice. These are Devin Lloyd's favorite uniforms. And so he said, we're wearing all black tonight. Ducks are in the white jerseys with the very dark green pants. Cam Lewis to boot it away. And Britton Covey, the electric, diminutive returner, is deep for the Utes. And he'll bring it. Covey, who returned a punt against the Ducks in round one, stays alive. Man, is he a dangerous returner. Gives the Utes pretty good field position out near the 40.
I love how he doesn't run out of bounds, right? He stays in bounds and fights for every yard. Here comes Cam Rising.
Rising, terrific passer, also a scrambler. Man, did he hurt the Ducks defense with scrambles for first down 13 days ago.
Yeah, he's got enough athletic ability that makes you have to respect it. He averages about 5 carries a game between design run and when he does scramble, but he is a leader. It'll be fun to watch him tonight.
He said they want to hit Oregon in the mouth right away. Show them that they are, in fact, the most physical team in this conference. Not let the Ducks front run. That plan worked perfectly in the first game. Throwing, and the first completion is to Devon Bailey, the tall freshman wide receiver from San Diego. Here's the Chick-fil-A impact players.
Tavian Thomas does a great job of running between the tackles and really bringing the physical approach to this offense. Tight ends, you'll see a lot of them, but the leader is 80. Brant Keithy does a really good job of being able to get open. Thibodeau, we've talked about all year, and Noah Sewell. They're going to run the ball. Number one's got to make a lot of plays in the middle of that defense.
Keithy, by far the leading receiver on this team, sets up on the left. They run it that direction with Tavian Thomas, and the Ducks swarm him and stop him right there for about a yard gain. 3rd and 4 coming up.
They can get a push. You know, they have focused this week on getting penetration, not letting the big Thomas let his momentum get established. He's about 225 pounds, and they want to try to get to him before he can get his momentum going. And they've got athleticism. You know, Thibodeau gets most of the attention, but watch out for Brandon Dorless 3 to be able to try to shoot some gaps and get into that backfield tonight.
He could have a big night if they pay too much attention to number 5. You're right. 3rd and 4. Rising tries to get it, running, leaning. He's right near the marker. They'll spot him just short. So 4th down on an early decision for Kyle Whittingham.
Yeah, not quite to midfield. And right away, he's sending a message to his team. We came here to win.
They bring in Tavian Thomas, that 220-pounder.
team really embodies Kyle Whittingham's approach to football.
3 of those Ute tight ends in the ball game. Big play early here. And they fight and push the pile. I think it's going to be a first down when the dust settles.
Wow.
It is.
Wow.
Not the first time, but on the push, they got it.
Yeah, pretty favorable spot. And I'm sure Utah will want to go. But look at the push here. Does a good job getting behind the center.
I don't know.
I don't know.
The nose of the ball.
I don't know where that
right
football
at
is.
the 50. They spot the nose right at the 50. I don't think he got near
I just don't see he got to the 50 personally. I'm surprised they're taking their time.
Jerry Meyerhoff is the replay official, and they choose not to buzz it down. And now in a first down throw, a slant is complete. Catch made by Solomon Enos, and the Utes are threatening.
You know, with a 12 personnel, 1 running back, 2 tight ends. Oregon on 1st and 10, they have 8 guys up close to the box. Second time we've seen this on 1st and 10. They know Oregon's heard for 2 weeks. Oh, you got beat up at the line of scrimmage. Utah imposed their will. They knew tonight that Oregon was going to come to stop the running game. First 2 first downs, throwing the football. Love that by Andy Ludwig, the offensive coordinator.
Ryerson looking to throw again on first down. Flips it underneath, and the catch is made by Britton Covey, who cuts it back. Covey knifing down to the 15-yard line. A sharp start for this Utah offense.
The first matchup, they did a good job attacking where the linebackers are in coverage. 33, Basse, who's actually a safety, who is trying to learn how to be a backer this year, sometimes gets lost in coverage and awareness with his head being on a swivel. And I'll tell you, Covey is so dangerous with the ball in his hands. Even though he's about 170 pounds, he does not give up. You can see his fight there to the end.
TJ Pledger is the back now on first down. Rising, keeping all the way. Can he get the edge? He cannot. Flying to make a play is Noah Sewell, one of the 2 Sewell brothers playing in this game. Nephi plays for the Utes.
You know, their family's excited. You imagine being the parents with the championship on the line, Rose Bowl on the line. They're used to having their sons compete with each other, against each other. There they are.
Got the jerseys there with the number 1. Both guys wore 1. Split down the middle.
Yeah.
They got double use of those jerseys.
That's right.
Right, the what an impressive family. Panay Sewell is here. Gabe is the oldest brother.
Red zone, by the way, such a big part of the first matchup.
Rising, flips it over the middle, and it's dropped. Now, the normally reliable tight end, Fotherington, had it.
They bring a linebacker blitz here, and one thing that you have to be aware when you bring those blitzes is you've got to cover those tight ends that are going to slip out underneath that coverage. You blitz a backer. First matchup, they had those tight ends open. They dropped a lot of those. It's just like a late release. Let the linebackers drop back to 15 yards, drop it underneath them.
Yeah, he spun his head toward the defenders, didn't he? Did not eye the football ends. Now it's 3rd and 12. Play clock winding down. Rising launches a fade to the end zone, and it's incomplete, but a flag. Jalen Dixon was covered by McHale Wright. Interference.
Well, right away, the fact that you don't see Wright turn for the football is what usually is going to get the initial recognition from the official. He never found the football, and it looked like his left arm got in there late, right there. But I like holding his hand. I don't know. Bill, what do you think? A hold there?
Yeah, once he grabbed the hand, that's the restriction that caused the pass interference. It's a good call.
It's a crucial call. It sets up the Utes 1st and goal at the 2.
Ball catchable, you think, Bill?
Yeah, I'd give it catchable.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. Big 3rd down, pass interference.
Tavion Thomas lines up looking for his 19th rushing touchdown this season. He's got the football, and he walks in. And the Utes razor sharp with the opening possession. They get 61 yards. Could not have drawn it up any better than that. Nice run-pass mix.
Absolutely, and left side of this offensive line with a good push here. Watch him just read this. It's designed to go to the right. does a good job of feeling it, cutting it back to the left behind the left side of that offensive line.
Kicking has been a bit of an issue for Utah. Tried one field goal in the last 5 games. This is Jaden Redding, who knocks the conversion through, and right away the Ducks face a 7-point deficit. Cam Rising and the Utes looking good so far here in Las Vegas. Showing you a whole lot of red. Feels like 70-30 here in Las Vegas. Check out the AT&T 5G SkyCast on ESPN3 and the ESPN app. You can also find the Great Clips Command Center broadcast of the game. Updated in all the stats. 46 yards on the drive. The pass interference call in the end zone was crucial. So was the 4th down quarterback sneak by Covey. And now Anthony Brown in this Oregon offense. Well, they did get punched in the mouth early by Rising, which is what he said the Utes' plan was. Now Brown is going to have to respond. Mikhail Wright was flagged for that interference. Is back deep, and the kickoff bounces. It's picked up there by Seven McGee. Gets out across the 21-yard line. So here comes Anthony Brown. Kirk, so much of a burden on him with the RPO offense. Got to make a decision every snap, then make the throw if he makes the right choice.
Yeah, absolutely. He's all about trying to get into a rhythm, and he's very streaky as a passer. Now, last week he bounced back. You saw the numbers there from 2 weeks ago when he played against this Utah defense. By the way, they missed a couple field goals. They got into the red zone. They were in a competitive game early, hostile environment. The game got away from them. It was 28-0 at halftime. They've got to obviously stay balanced tonight and stay ahead of the chains. That's the biggest thing. Stay on schedule.
Travis Dye, who was not a factor, just about 7 touches in the first game. And Oregon flagged on this first play. Junior Tafuna got it. Yeah, 11 times, Kirk. They were at second
Number
and
16
10 or
of
11.
the defense lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. First down.
So that new 5-yard penalty on the Utes. Here's the Chick-fil-A impact players when Oregon has the football.
Well, again, when you have a balanced attack, obviously Travis Dye is going to have a big night. I think he's been the MVP of this offense with C.J. Verdell going down. Devin Williams, with all the injuries to the receivers, he becomes the go-to guy. Great vertical threat at 6'5". Devin Lloyd, one of the best players in the country. Watch number 0. And we talked about Sewell on the other side. Well, Nephi also will make a lot of plays for this Utah defense.
Travis Dye muscles forward. And they'll need about 2 yards on second down. Dye, junior from Norco, California. Very sound receiver, complete football player, but they got behind so early they could never get the running game going. No factor at all.
Yeah, he's one of the tougher backs that you're going to watch. You know, he was a compliment to C.J. Verdell before Verdell's injury, and then has had to become the Iron Man back there, and he's handled that very well. Like I said, one of the leaders of this team.
Feed him again, and he patiently picks his way for a first down across the 35. Nephi Sewell stopped him again.
This Oregon offense with Joe Moorhead as the offensive coordinator, you're going to see them not be afraid to run the ball. There's Joe right in the middle with the visor. Rumors about him possibly tomorrow maybe taking the Akron job, trying to get closer back to the Midwest, to his roots and to his family. But this is a team that will take some shots. They're going to run the ball, and they're going to take shots downfield, especially to 2, Devin Williams.
Did this a lot against Oregon State. It starts as an empty set. They motion Dye in. The snap just dribbles back to Brown and now launches downfield and over the head of Chris Hudson, the true freshman who's been emerging as a target, but that play was messed up.
There's 2 things there. There's the shots we're talking about that they're going to try to keep Utah honest. And Alex Forsythe, who's a leader, he's the only one that knew that it was going to be a snap, and he kind of wasn't sure himself. He got it about halfway back. Good job by Anthony Brown playing shortstop there and handling it and just throwing it downfield.
Just kind of laid up there. He didn't go for the green with that. Bounced to Brown. I want to minimize that.
It's a loss of down, essentially.
Dye and motions back in. They hand it to him. Oh, Brown keeps it, and nice penetration coming in to make the stop right there was Lloyd, and that's his 100th tackle now in this season.
Devin Lloyd is one of the best players in the country that you probably haven't heard much about if you don't follow the Pac-12. Watch 0. What you're going to love about watching this guy is his instincts, but he was a 1-star, 2-star, had very few offers, and has made himself into the player that he is. Came back this year for one reason, to win a Pac-12 championship.
Butkus Award finalist, first-round draft pick. Brown flips it short, and will be dropped right there for a very short gain. And they don't pick up the first down on 3rd and long. Brandon McKinney on the stop.
That was the problem last time this offense played against Utah. They were 6 of 14 on 3rd downs because of this. Way too many 3rd and longs. And with the way they pressure the quarterback, with Lloyd on one side, Tafua on the other, it puts a lot on that offensive line and the quarterback.
Here's Britton Covey. His 4th career punt return for a touchdown.
85 is 8.
Was a devastating blow to the Ducks. Came just before halftime. Covey hoping he gets a chance at the next level to do this. Return punts. He doesn't like to fair catch. Rarely does it, and that's why he's able to slip a couple tackles. They grab the face mask on the tackle. That'll tack on 15 more.
Yeah, you see Covey. He's like, oh, yeah, they grabbed me. By the way, I want to clarify. Devin Lloyd, you haven't heard of him because you're maybe east of the Rockies. Chris said he's a first-rounder. He's one of the best players in the country. But just if he were at Alabama or Ohio State or Michigan, the whole world would know who he is. But he doesn't get the recognition he deserves sometimes, to me. And here's the face mask, obviously, 15
During
yards.
the return,
DJ
foul.
James.
Face mask. Kicking team number 0. 15 yards from the end of the run. First down. Timeout on the field.
So the Utes get a touchdown, get a stop, and they'll go back to work here in Vegas midway first quarter. 7-0.
Championship on ABC is presented by Dr. Pepper. Delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper, the one fans deserve.
2 successful New Year's Six Bowl victories for Utah as a member of the Group of 5. Now, of course, in the Pac-12, and Kyle Whittingham, 17th year as head coach at Utah, and not his last, he insists, despite all the smoke around Salt Lake City. Talked about these championship games beginning at noon Eastern, 11 Dallas time. Bears and the Cowboys. Cincinnati in that pressure game against Dana Holgorsen and the Cougars, who haven't lost since week 1. Getting Wake Forest in prime time.
Well, let's see what Tim DeRuyter, the defensive coordinator from Oregon, has after that first drive of the game.
TJ Pledger takes the handoff, and a flag comes in as he's tackled after about a 6-yard gain. That's in the holding zone. That'll be the call against Utah.
Holding. Offense number 55. 10 yards from the previous spot. First down.
It's Nick Ford, who's considered the nastiest offensive lineman, although Mateo Laume has given a run for the money in the nasty department.
Nick Ford on that hold looked a little nasty. If he were wrestling, it would have been a great takedown. I mean, he got pretty aggressive. I love aggressive offensive linemen. It's great to see, but that time he got caught.
It'll get a little aggressive in the pit tonight for sure on both sides. Both teams feeling like they have a strong statement to make. Rising, escapes pressure and flips it across the middle to Covey, who beats his man and picks up yardage to the 34.
Again, over the middle of this defense. This time it's covered. It's a pretty good job by the defense. He steps up, which is a good job of climbing in the pocket. And then because he got a little bit of separation, the defender got away with a hold that time. It was Jamal Hill. But they are attacking, again, the interior of the Oregon pass defense, where those linebackers are.
Very effective right down the middle with backs and tight ends in the first matchup, as well as Covey. 2nd and 7. Thomas. Tough to get to the ground, but Noah Sewell does wrestle him down at the 40. It'll be 3rd and about 2.5. Thomas, who had some fumbling problems early in the season, was in the doghouse and then finally emerged, and he has become the feature back second half of the season.
Yeah, he definitely, the combination of Rising and Thomas holding on to the ball and the offensive line growing up, looked like the right guard moved there just before the snap.
False start. Offense number 78. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Slamea
This is one area we did not see in the first game with Utah. These penalties, kind of getting behind the sticks. Everything went right for Kyle Whittingham and the Utah offense. You know, they were constantly at 3rd and short. They were 11 of 14 that night on 3rd downs because it was 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 1. Now, you know, here, this is what Oregon wants to see, get them to 3rd and 7.
Utes were running for first downs, even on 3rd and medium, sometimes 3rd and long in that game. Trying to overcome 2 penalties in this series. Now they need 7 on 3rd down. So Thibodeau off to the left. Rising stands and delivers and overshoots his man. Trying to find Covey, but that was way overthrown, and those 2 penalties do stall the drive.
You're thinking, hey, they're getting 3rd and 7. They're going to have to chip on Thibodeau, one of the top pass rushers. Instead, they just allow Braden Daniels to handle him one-on-one. Does a pretty good job. You know, you wonder, okay, is he going to have time? Steps back, looks left, trying to move that safety, and then gets a one-on-one matchup. Just not enough air under it to make the throw, but pretty good protection there.
Micah Pittman was the only punt returner for this team before he hit the portal. Sevin McGee has taken over that role. Mike Williams, the lefty, boots it and handled on the hop by McGee, but good coverage. Utah special teams have been a little deficient at times this year. Did a good job that time. Second possession for Brown and Oregon coming up. Beautiful night here in Las Vegas, and the aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Anything can happen as long as you have the drive. Goodyear, more driven. Oregon begins from the 15-yard line. Second possession, trying to get some traction in this game. All Utah so far. We have a report from Holly on Anthony Brown. You may notice his right ankle with a lot of white tape on it. Brown on the move, and the ankle is hampered. Didn't appear to be much of a factor. Holly, what did you see in that break?
Well, guys, Anthony Brown did spend an extended period of time in the injury tent on this Oregon sideline. They've wrapped up that right ankle pretty heavily. I did see an assistant coach go over, tap Ty Thompson on the shoulder, and just say, hey, you just need to be on call here. But it looked pretty good for Anthony Brown on that rollout right there. He is a big runner, averages almost 5 yards per carry, so his mobility will be a key factor for Oregon. Keep our eye on that.
He's a tough guy. 2 ACLs. His first stop at Boston College, so he can play through pain. No stranger to it. There was a promising sign that he picked up 10 on that run. Looking to throw on first down and delivers miscommunication. Troy Franklin, one of the young freshman receivers, is trying to pick up for the absence of Jalen Redd and Johnny Johnson, who are in crutches and boots.
And that's what you deal with when you have some younger receivers, a quarterback still trying to kind of find that rhythm. You saw Anthony Brown kind of saying, my bad. So you're not always going to assume that it's the young receiver, but Johnny Johnson, Jalen Redd, Micah Pittman, 3 guys that when we had them in UCLA, very prominent all year, and obviously all 3 not playing tonight. Pittman is transferred out.
Play action on second down, and the ball out and caught. Not much of a gain there for Isaiah Crocker. Was tipped.
It was
tipped.
tipped.
Kind of wait for it.
It was tipped at the line. Looked like Tafua might have jumped up and got his hand on it. They were also blitzing the young freshman Cole Bishop. 6 also gets in there. Yeah, but it was 42. He was a great player. They're actually.
There's a flag on the far side. Didn't spot it, and they're going to march the Ducks back here. Like sitting right on the 30-yard line on the far side.
Ineligible receiver downfield, number 77. 5-yard penalty, second down.
Even things like a pass getting tipped can mess up the timing, right? And that's George Moore farther downfield than he should have been.
That, and they run so much run-pass option. George Moore, in his head, he's thinking about a run play and trying to get up to the linebacker. And if the ball's out quick enough, it's okay.
The play's under review, guys, and they're going to review this for this fact that the ball got tipped behind the line. So technically the pass hasn't crossed the line, so there's no ineligible receiver downfield.
Thank you, Bill, for
The
jumping
previous
in
play
there.
was under review for where the ball was touched.
Not a review we often see, but a good use of the technology, provided they don't take too much time. Here's the tip.
I mean, he's well into the backfield, 42 at the top. I mean, he's 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage, Bill.
You mentioned Tafua. He's the guy that Mario Cristobal was paying the most attention to when he watched the Utes defensive tape, and also from the first game. He's just a potential game wrecker.
Everybody's using that term this week. Game. Yeah. Everybody you talk to Mario, I'll tell you, he's a game wrecker. Joe Moorhead, he's a game wrecker. Talk to Utah, he's a game wrecker.
The ball was touched behind the line of scrimmage. That makes all ineligibles legal downfield. The pass was caught and the run ended at the 30-yard line. It will be third down at the 30-yard line.
Tafua, the leading sacker, doesn't necessarily do it with a great get off. He's just relentless, man. He just never gives up.
No, he's captain, physical, plays with a motor. And a lot of times on third down, Devin Lloyd moves from that middle linebacker spot to putting his hand in the ground and rushing opposite of him. And defenses have to be aware of his twitch and what he can do. And Tafua is sometimes the beneficiary of that. Gets some one-on-one matchups that he can win. So Oregon catches a break here, much more manageable on third down.
Yeah, they still need 5, though. Empty backfield. Utes rush 4. Brown straight back, and it's picked off. It's Lloyd headed for the end zone. Pick 6. Devin Lloyd. The Butkus finalist and first-round pick, captain, leader of this team, Kirk, makes a huge play.
Well, he probably studies as much film as any linebacker in college football. He becomes very instinctive by the time the ball is kicked off on an average Saturday, now on a Friday night. Incredibly well prepared, and you'll see on the replay the eyes and the vision and anticipation of where that ball was going to be thrown and allowed him to step in front of it.
He does everything. Makes tackles, rushes the passer, and that's his 4th pick this year. It's his 3rd career pick 6.
Wow. What I love is, remember, it's third down. He has an idea of where the sticks are. They need to get to about the 35-yard line, and watch how he does it. He's so patient. He's not panicking. He's reading the eyes of the quarterback. He sees the route, almost baits him to throw it like you would in a backyard football game. He's open. Look, make the throw, and then he steps right in front of it. He's reading the eyes of Anthony Brown, who's looking left, kind of looks off, and then he comes right back, and he was close enough there that he was able to, as I said, anticipate and then step in front. I love that he had his head on a swivel looking, someone's coming on a crosser, someone's coming to the middle into my area, put himself in a position to jump that route. Great play by the leader of this defense.
Came back, as you said, Kirk, because he wanted to win a championship, wanted to go to the Rose Bowl. Comes from Chula Vista, that's the San Diego area, but one of the many guys on this team and fans in the stand, for that matter, that wants to realize a lifelong ambition to get to Pasadena.
It won't take NFL personnel long. What you're going to love about him, you're going to look at the film and love him, and then you're going to talk to him and you're going to love him more. He's a guy, he's a glue of a franchise kind of guy with his approach to the game, the intangibles he brings to the table.
And McGee works hard to get back to the 20. And Anthony Brown will have to go right back to work, down 2 scores now. Sunday over on ESPN, the exclusive reveal of the College Football Playoff semifinal matchups. Goodyear Cotton Bowl, Capital One Orange Bowl, plus all of the New Year's 6 games of the final top 25 rankings. Noon Eastern on ESPN.
So you lost 38-7 at Salt Lake City. This is basically the 5th quarter of the game, and now you're down 14-0 with a Rose Bowl on the line. Mario Cristobal and Joe Moorhead and their staff can only do so much. At some point, you'd like to see the players and the leadership and the pride and the fight and the team take over. Oregon right now very lethargic in this beginning of this football game in his first quarter.
It's Dye in motion. Brown has to elude a tackle in the backfield. That was Van Fillinger with the quick penetration, and Fillinger blew it up.
Here's what's scary if you're a Pac-12 coach watching this game or a fan. They've got a couple veterans in Lloyd and Tafua, and then they got a bunch of freshmen. They typically will have 8 or 9 freshmen on the field. Some are true, and a lot of them are from COVID, where they were freshmen last year, but that carries over to being a freshman this year. This is a young defense for Kyle Whittingham and Morgan Scalley, the defensive coordinator.
Sure is. Fillinger did play 5 games in the COVID season, didn't count, but you're right. Sometimes they've had 5 true freshmen on defense at one point. There's a short underneath route, and Chris Hudson makes the catch and fights back, and another one of those third downs coming up.
You just feel like for them to get going, you got to get Anthony Brown going through the air. I mean, early downs passing. Morgan Scalley, the defensive coordinator. I mean, everything is tight, and they're running, they're throwing short, intermediate passes. You've got to take a shot. They had one pass downfield. You're going to have to try to stretch this defense at some point. Can't do it here on 3rd down.
4-man rush, ball out quickly, catch made by Hudson. He makes a move, dives. He does have first down yardage. There's a flag down in the secondary.
Pass interference, offense number 10.
Dante Thornton must have called some kind of a pick on that route.
Yeah, he did. They kind of switched, watch the release. He comes to the 10 from the outside in. Boy, I don't know. I mean, he touched him. I don't know if he impeded the route or affected the defender in any way. I mean, he touched him. Bill, he made contact. I don't think it had anything to do with setting a pick.
His job offensively is not to initiate any contact whatsoever.
We see that all the time. He ran into the guy. He didn't block him.
Got to act better than that, though. The true freshman will learn how to disguise that.
I just don't think it had anything to do with the guy getting open.
Penalties just setting Oregon back. Now it's 3rd and 17. Good luck, Anthony Brown here. Protection breaking down, and they've got him at the 5. The Utes are swarming. Jonah Ellis, one of the backup defensive ends. His dad is Luther, a legend at Utah.
Look at all the blitzing that they show. They show pressure, and then they eventually drop out of it. Affects the offensive line, and who's going to pick up who? And eventually the coverage downfield allows the basically 3 rushers, all of them, get home. That was great coverage that allowed the pass rush, and that's how Utah generally gets their pressure.
Tom Snead, yard from the end line, gets a low punt away. It's returnable for Covey, takes it in Oregon territory, runs sideways, reverses field, and cannot escape. But Utah will still take over here, up a couple scores in Oregon territory. This is 13 days ago in Salt Lake.
We keep referencing how this game got out of control. It was competitive in the first quarter, more competitive than this, and then it just kind of snowballed from there. It was 28-0 at half, but the takeaway was, wow, Utah was more physical than Oregon. Oregon just wasn't ready for that, and here we are 14-0, and they're 3rd possession plus territory.
Said snowballing, it became an avalanche, and it's starting to feel like that here. Micah Bernard, the back in motion as he's looking to the right. Slant again. Catch made by one of those tight ends, Dalton Kincaid, the junior from right here in Las Vegas.
How many times are we going to see this area of the Oregon defense attacked by Utah with their tight ends? Over and over and over again. From the first matchup to tonight, and until you take it away, you're going to continue to see rising, throwing to the tight ends and those slot receivers and making those tight ends cover in space.
Okay, had a couple of quality years at San Diego before transferring here. Thomas knocked down. Utah uses more 3 tight end sets than anybody in the country, and that their dominant set's a 2 tight end set.
Yeah, I mean, when you watch Utah, you're thinking of what Wisconsin would be, or old Stanford.
What Notre Dame used to be.
Notre Dame, but they'll do 12 personnel with 1 back and 2 tight ends. Andy Ludwig, he's a very interesting mind and an outlier. You know, everybody's going to, over the last 10 years, going to more spread and playing out in space, and they've decided to recruit offensive linemen and tight ends and big, strong running backs, and it's become their calling on offense. It fits well with Kyle Whittingham and what they do on defense.
2nd and 8. Thomas hit at the line and driven back. No gain. It'll be 3rd and long.
The other thing that's kind of weird for this generation of the younger sports fans, they huddle. Like when 11 guys get together, back away from the ball about 8 yards, that's called a huddle, and Utah does that.
Well, the Ducks not drawing good cards.
You've seen a huddle?
I'm engrossed in this poker game that's going on down here. We may put the camera on that a lot later on. Unless the Ducks climb back in. End of the first quarter. Back after this message and a word from your local ABC station. Utes threatening to add to a 14-0 lead. Welcome back to the Pac-12 Championship game on ABC, presented by Dr. Pepper. Ducks, Kirk, with more penalty yards than offensive yards in the first quarter, 42 to 26. Trying to get off the field here and force a field goal attempt. This feels important early, already down a couple of scores with the offense doing nothing.
Well, they've done a very good job. I know it's early in this game on Thibodeau, and these third downs has not been a factor at all. And getting the ball out quick, too, to the tight ends.
Rising, another quick throw. That one is intercepted. Threw it right into the hands of Noah Sewell. And that's the kind of play Oregon needed to provide a spark. In this matchup of Sewell brothers, it's Noah who makes the first big play.
Chris, you're going to love this. We just talked about how they're attacking the interior of this defense. Watch Sewell initially look here and then come off and pick up the second route. Watch his eyes. He looks inside, comes off, and then jumps that throw. Really good job, good instincts that time. Coming off the initial crosser, catching that second crosser, and then showing the athletic ability by the big fella.
Just ran over a receiver, Enos in the way.
I mean, he is 255 pounds.
Get out of my way.
Poor Enos. He's like, I'm sorry, man. I just happened to be here. That's on me.
Exactly what Oregon needed. They not only prevent the threat, they give the Oregon offense some good field position. End around to Seven McGee. And all of a sudden, some juice on the Duck side.
Yeah, if I were Oregon, I would consider going with some tempo. Like getting a little, you talked about a little bit of juice when they got an injury. It's one of their offensive linemen.
Alex Forsythe.
Well, he's had a heck of a year with injuries. A lower back that's bothered him. He's missed some games.
Mr. Baum, of course, who is former offensive lineman at Miami. Pays a lot of attention to that group. I believe it's Jackson Powers Johns who's the backup center, not Forsythe. And it's interesting, you hear from both sides, you hear all the rhetoric, and the Ducks were really talking tough. Their anger, they felt, would translate into a really charged up physical start. It's been more of the same from the Utes so far. We'll see if that play turns it around.
That play may turn it around, but I think it's been Oregon showing up to stop the run and Cam Rising throwing the football. You know, they haven't had to really run the ball, and then their defense has just been dominant, you know, in the early going. If I'm Oregon, they need a spark. They get the interception. They pick up some nice positive yards on 1st and 10. Let's get some tempo, or get a little bit of more of an aggressive attacking style going.
So Forsythe is in the game. Powers Johns help with the sidelines on 2nd and 4. Brown keeps it, now throws it. McGee in the flat as a first down and accelerates that inside the Utah 30. Nice little play.
That's a triple option. He reads the defensive end, Billinger. He reads him on the give, decides to pull it. Now he's got to be able to attack that next level of the defense, and then eventually throws it, gets it out to McGee, who's dangerous out in space.
First chunk play for this Duck offense, picked up 19. Sid Brown is streaky after a rough start. Plays like that, perhaps high percentage throws getting him going. There's an option look, die on the edge. Makes it cut, and they'll take that first down gain every time. Got about 7.
Saw 7 McGee, a willing blocker on the outside, number 0. He takes on the other 0 right there, Devin Lloyd, and it goes down. It didn't have anything to do with the play. I just heard the contact and appreciated his willingness to get in the way of the big fella to try to slow him down. He didn't make the tackle.
It bounced off.
He did. He did. Positive yards, though.
Not Salt Lake City, but the Utes have a crowd edge, and they're making some noise now against this Oregon offense. McGee took the ball running sideways a long way behind the line, made a left turn, and Lloyd got him. It'll be 3rd and short, about 2.
Devin Lloyd forced him back to the inside and then made the tackle. You know, if he doesn't make that tackle, Anthony Brown's out in front. Travis Dye was out in front. He had first down yardage.
This is more like the Oregon offense.
This is where they want to
so far.
Yeah, you can die, you can run, you can pull it and run it with Brown. This is where they want to be.
And that's not what they wanted to happen.
Yeah, the H-back just lost his balance, started leaning forward.
False start. Offense number 56 and number 12. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
He spotted DJ Johnson in the backfield, stumbling forward. Now it's 3rd and 7.
Yeah, now you go back. Now.
Excuse me, 3rd down.
And they lost their poise as an offensive line in Salt Lake City pretty quickly, and that was paramount in this rematch to play with much more composure, not make mistakes like that. Now we'll see what Brown can do. Got to get inside the 20. Spencer Webb comes across in motion. Utes don't bring pressure. Brown does have time, fires downfield, but way over the head of Troy Franklin. No chance to make a play that time. 4th down.
Another time where Anthony Brown just not on the same page with his wide receivers, and that is a tough throw regardless, from the right hash all the way to the left sideline. Good zone coverage, just sitting right in the holes of where these receivers are trying to go. Anthony Brown frustrated there. Looked like maybe with himself again on that throw.
Even if they're on the same page, Franklin would have had to be 9 feet tall to make the play on that one.
No chance.
44-yard field goal attempt for Cam Lewis. And a guy who missed a couple against the Utes in Salt Lake City, which stalled their momentum, hooks this one wide left. This is deja vu for Cristobal. Nothing going right. Even the interception by Sewell and a promising drive stalls. The penalty set him back. And then this hook. And it's still 14-0 Utes. Ducks having problems kicking field goals against the Utes. Cam Lewis hasn't missed all year except for now 3 misses against Utah. But Kirk, that 3rd and 2 false start, that was crucial. Oregon had a promising drive going, thinking about the end zone.
Yeah,
Came up empty.
They had a good drive after that interception by Sewell. And like that first game, like you said, just unable to get points. Just it's almost just stop the bleeding, settle into the game. Now they can rely on the defense to come with another stop.
Ducks crowd the line, and Pletcher dodging guys in the backfield, picks up a couple. Holly?
Well, you talked about Noah Sewell and the great play that he made early in this ballgame. The Sewell family took quite a leap of faith. They relocated their entire family of 6 people from America Samoa to small town St. George, Utah. The 4 brothers and oldest sister Gabrielle, they all went to different schools. All 4 brothers earned scholarships in college football, and the dad said, you know, it was hard. We had to relocate everybody. They were at tough ages, from teenagers to young people, but we knew that opportunity awaited. And how about that? An NFL player and 3 college scholarships. I'll say they took advantage of it, and Gabriella has her degree as well.
Marlene and Gabe, they're going to root for the defense. No matter who's got the ball, they're rooting for defense.
Yeah, that's easy.
Sons, right?
Yeah.
Panay is here, and Gabe played at Nevada. That's where Nephi began his career. It can't be an easy position, though. Gabe, a coach himself, and what a tremendous background all those guys grew up with.
Noah Sewell's obviously very well known, what he's done last year and this year, but Nephi Sewell on Utah's defense, you talk to the coaches, you watch the film, they'll tell you he's the most underrated player that they have on the defense, especially in the middle there with Devin Lloyd.
Ducks defense trying to get off the field here in 3rd and 4. Micah Bernard is the back, rising, throws a nice little dart, and it's complete for a 1st down. He's been accurate in tight windows there. Theo Howard caught that one.
Yeah, these tight ends and receivers are just trying to settle down. You get some zone mix between Oregon playing man and zone, but a lot of times zone, and we can't continuing even after that interception to attack that interior.
5 different Utes have caught passes. They haven't targeted Brant Keithy, who is the most targeted player on the team by far, the tight end, yet.
5 of the 6 completions are on 1st and 10, so they're doing a good job breaking tendencies on early downs.
It's Covey who comes in motion. They fake it to him. Rising has pressure immediately and escapes. Gets a yard before Sewell dragged him down.
That time they get a little bit of pressure. Watch Thibodeau finally making an impact here. He forces him to get out of that pocket. First time we've seen him get a step on one of these offensive linemen. That time it was Bills, the left guard. There he is, ISO. See that speed and quickness, that suddenness. Almost got to Rising. Rising, obviously, every snap when he's throwing it, he's eyeing 5. Where's 5 just in case to be able to step away from the potential pressure.
Rising, a good athlete. He
really
ran
is.
the 110 and 300 hurdles in high school. Was also a high jumper. Hands off to Thomas and slammed to the ground. When Noah Sewell tackles you, you feel it.
Love the vision of this big back, Tavion Thomas. He shows tremendous patience. You know, he was at Cincinnati, ended up going to junior college. See that play to the right, and he just read that the offensive lineman working all the way to the right, cuts it way back to the left, and that's 2 big bodies.
I mean, wow.
On head to head.
Thomas is a hammer, right?
Oh,
He's a load to tackle.
Yeah.
Sewell weighs about 260. Tremendous power to go with the speed. 3rd down again. They need 3. Rising, keeping it, and again able to navigate to a 1st down in midfield. Keep the 6 going.
Think about this with Cam Rising. When Charlie Brewer transferred over from Baylor, last year he played 1 series, Cam Rising, and had a shoulder injury against USC, had a major surgery, couldn't really throw the ball until June. So here he is with a Charlie Brewer coming in. He loses the job, and because of the experience of Charlie Brewer, and he gets voted captain unanimously by his teammates, and he didn't win the job out of camp. That tells you about what his teammates thought of him,
huh?
even when Brewer won the job.
Like the day after he's demoted, they still voted him captain.
Yeah.
Not demoted, but he didn't win the job. It was a competition where Brewer had about 10,000 yards at Baylor, right?
5-yard penalty.
Whittingham made the clear choice, right? He went with experience.
Well, he had an injury and he had 1 start, and Brewer had a bunch of starts at Baylor. And Kyle will tell you I mean, you never know when camp breaks, and you kind of go with your gut. And his gut for Kyle Whittingham and Andy Ludwig was experience. They went with Charlie Brewer's experience, and after 3 games, they went back to the bulletin, or back to the drawing board, and said, let's go with Cam. You know, I think the team believes in him, and they're 8-1 since.
1st and 15 after the penalty. Brewer had a rough game against BYU. They lost to their arch rivals, a rare loss to BYU, and that seemed to rattle him. Never really recovered from that. Covey on the slant, slips 1 tackle, stopped just short of the marker, but man, is he electric.
Yeah, Mikael Wright gives him a cushion, which is a mistake to give him this kind of space. Another quick slant. The timing on these throws from Rising to the receivers and tight ends is on point. And with that kind of cushion, you're not slowing down that rhythm. You want to disrupt the timing and try to get up and make him work to get to his spot. There he made it easy. Right now, Rising is definitely in a rhythm with those receivers and tight ends on those throws.
Anybody love football more than Covey? He's got a smile on his face so often during the game. See the big club on the hand of Jordan Happel. Thomas leans. He's stopped just short. Holly?
Well, I spent some time after practice this week with Britton Covey at the University of Utah. What an unusual career. Started out in 2015, then served his 2-year Mormon mission, came back, and he's still playing. He actually has an extra year of eligibility. It's unlikely if he will take that or not, but he just loves the game. He loves the University of Utah. He's 24 years old. He's married, and nobody has added more. And today he was named the Pac-12 Scholar Athlete of the Year, 3.86 GPA.
Yeah, he's one guy that Kyle Whittingham would be sorry to see go. Flea flicker. Rising downfield and over the head. Caught up in traffic there. Vele, no flag. Attempted trickery by the Utes.
Yeah, and a good time to do it. You bring in your heavy personnel, which they do quite often with the big tight ends, and you're thinking, okay, 3rd and short, they're gonna run it. Instead, they try to draw those safeties up and take a shot. You know you're gonna go for it here on 4th and short anyway, so good time to try it.
Now it's a 4th down. We were thinking about that when they called the previous play, no doubt. Pledger is the back. Keeper again. Rising, stiff arm. Loses the football, scrambled on the sidelines. It goes out of bounds. And Utah is going to maintain possession. Sewell was in on the play.
Lamea, the right guard, pulls around. They got the tight end.
Fumbled forward and out of bounds. Ball we placed at the fumbling spot. Result of the play is a first down.
By the way, look who he stiff arms here. You got the tight end pulling around. Watch right there. Look at number 1. That's the big guy. Noah Sewell, 260 pounds that he gives that stiff arm to. He's fortunate, very close to fumbling that, and Bridges picking it up, but how impressive was that? He got caught from behind and surprised.
Once again, Rising with the legs, converting on a 3rd or 4th and short. Looking to throw again, and first down. Hit as he throws, the ball goes straight up in the air, and a diving interception. It was all about the quarterback pressure, but Jerome McKinley III, 6th pick of the year to take over the lead. Christian Williams just leveled him.
Wow. Great job, 91, getting around the center forward. And you're right. I mean, it's a heck of a job of recognizing the ball's in the air by McKinley, but without the assist that time by Williams up front, and the Ducks again get another turnover.
Yeah, their second takeaway, hanging in, but still down 2 scores.
The Pac-12 Championship, presented by Dr. Pepper on ABC, is brought to you by Taco Bell.
Chris, this interception, Oregon's defensive line, they're slanting this way. Here's who comes up with a sack working. Bassa also brings pressure. That's how they get home. Confusion up front. 91 gets home. Now here is where the interception comes from McKinley, way back in center field, almost like a punt. Good job of getting there and getting his arms under that for the interception.
So the Ducks take over at the 20, and Tapu is asking for crowd noise from the partisan crowd here, and they respond.
Wants the Thorpe award, I guess. He holding up Thorpe on the board there.
Dixon comes across in motion. Brown trying to point out where he thinks the pressure is coming from. They do bring the pressure. He's backpedaling on the run and flips incomplete. He was concerned even before the snap, and that was Tapu who came plowing through.
Well, we just saw Oregon slant and angle. Now you're going to see Utah slant and angle and bring a very similar blitz. Try to affect that offensive line, the communication. Do I take this guy? Do I take that guy? By the way, this crowd, if you can't feel it at home, it's got some juice in this building. I'd say it's 80-20 Utah, 70-30 Utah. So the crowd affecting the Oregon offensive line, especially in this part of the stadium.
Roof closed. This is a loud place. It really is. Die. Pinwheel knocked down hard. That's Nephi Sewell making his presence felt.
Enough of Noah getting his plays. We said he plays right next to Devin Lloyd, and when those linemen get up to Lloyd, they better be careful, forgetting about one. That's a guy that is active and just loves football. Lloyd has taken him under his wing. Like I said, the amount of film study these two do together is tremendous.
One of those third downs for the Ducks. They need 6 here. 0 for 4 tonight.
Their whole goal was third down.
Brown has time across the middle. Die. Not going to get near the marker. Devin Lloyd was in the area patrolling along with Mateele. Punt team again.
He's got tight ends working behind, Ferguson working behind, and then you've got Dye coming underneath. The problem is, watch, he's trying to read these linebackers. Does he go over top of them, or does he try to check it down? He checks it down, and the linebackers are right there to keep him short of the first down. I'd like to see him try to take a shot and get that over the linebackers into the tight end.
All right, a punt return late in the half with Utah leading. This is deja vu. This is about the situation where Covey took it to the house. They come after Tom Snee. He's knocked down. There's no flag and no return on the punt. 4:04 before the break. Still 14-0 Utah. Ty Jordan and Aaron Lowe. Remember just now the moment of loudness, they call it in Utah. They do it at the end of the third quarter. In the second quarter here, lights up. Nice, classy show of unity. A lot of Oregon fans joining in with the Utah fans and players. 2 players lost, tragedy, gunshot wounds, and mothers there. Lowe Stearns, mother of Aaron Lowe.
Well, this defense has kept him in this football game with a couple turnovers. Offense just not able to do anything with the football at all tonight.
And they whistle before the snap and a false start against the Utes.
Prior to the snap, false start. Offense number 17. 5-yard penalty. First down.
So Utah had an opening touchdown drive, then the pick 6 by Devin Lloyd. Then they twice reached threatening territory, 3 interceptions from the Oregon 30 and 29-yard line. So this lead would be much bigger at this point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Ducks defense early going, it looked like they were going to have a long night, but we'll see what happens here. But they've definitely settled in and gotten those turnovers.
Oregon with 65 yards of total offense so far. 129 for Utah. Thomas trying to add to that total, following blockers, but he's knocked down at the 25. And running play on 1st and 15. They're not afraid to do that. Your point is good, though. Andy Ludwig calling a really smart game and trying to take, again, the pass rush out of the equation. So many first down throws, high percentage
That's
throws.
the time to do it against Thibodeau and Dorless and this front where they can get after the quarterback.
Thibodeau has yet to make a tackle tonight, has not pressured the quarterback yet either. And he came in determined to make a much bigger impact than he was able to make in Salt Lake. Second and 11, rising a slant, and the catch is made by Grant Keithy. First one tonight for the top receiver, 44th on the season with the junior from Texas.
Watch how he just again settles in, gets right in between 2 defenders and just kind of turns. They do such a good job with these linebackers and finding those creases. If you play zone, they're gonna settle. They just are very comfortable with the timing and the rhythm with Rising finding it. He gets the ball out quickly where you can't pressure him. And if it's man, they're very good at running away and getting separation. It's not 60 yards downfield, but effective.
Now he wants to throw downfield. Seam route diving attempt just off the fingertips of Covey.
Rising does a good job with his eyes. He had one high safety. He moves the safety to the middle of the field, and now he's got the seam right there. Just unable to hit Covey, who lost his bounce. See, he looks left, comes back right. He moved the safety. Covey just lost his feet there, or that could have been a touchdown. That's a great matchup for them, matched up with Jamal Hill.
Covey 3 catches in this first half. Play action, far side, easy pitch and catch.
What's great about those routes is now it's 3rd and 2, right? I mean, that's just where you want to live. Again, you're going to let the tight ends, let these big receivers, let them get soft coverage. No problem. They'll take 7 or 8.
It's been a big year for tight ends around the country. To show you some of the data, but Utah symbolizing the increased use of tight ends as weapons like never before in college football. And 3rd and 3, Thomas cuts it back and spins for a first down. Check this out, Kirk. In FBS this season, more than 50,000 receiving yards for tight ends, 4,400 receptions, almost 500 touchdowns. They began to keep data like this back in '04, and all of those are the most in that 18 season time period. And trend doesn't really show any signs of reversing. The increased use year by year, more and more passes by percentage going to tight ends.
Yeah, and you see that obviously in the NFL, and you have been seeing that for a number of years. I'd like to see tight ends involved in the pass game.
And barreling off the left side, just pushing the pile is Thomas. He's going to get 9 on first down into Oregon territory.
That runs like that. That's like a body blow in the 6th round of a boxing match. You know, that you're getting pushed back and the back's helping push you back.
Thomas makes a cut. Now, if you watch the first game, you know this is where Utah completely blew it open late in the first half with a drive to go up 21-0. Oregon's defense has to make yet another stand right here. Keep this thing under control.
Trying to rotate bodies, trying to stay fresh here for this last minute of the first half.
And this is really, I think, crucial for their comeback hopes. They've got nothing going against Utah offensively in 6 quarters. Cristobal knows they got to make a stand. They got to stay close here. Kevin, look forward to it. Yeah, the carousel spinning very quickly these days. Minute 1 before halftime. Utes have all the timeouts. Rising delivers far side and flying in to make the play, and drawing a flag is DJ James.
The right hand. He did a nice job with the left to get to the football, but I think he grabbed onto that shoulder as he was working his way around the body.
Keithy was the target on the far side.
Watch what he gives him a little cushion. They've been throwing so many under routes, foot in the ground, breaks on it. Look at the right hand, gets up on that right shoulder of Keithy.
That play is called so differently in different conferences. I bet you watch on Saturday, different leagues. I bet you don't see flag on that in all of them. In the Pac-12 it is.
I don't
Moves
know.
the ball to the 36.
You put that right hand on a shoulder, it's gonna.
You put 7 hands on the guy, doesn't get a flag in the SEC. Pleasure. Knocked down. I'm not saying it's incorrect. I'm just saying it's called differently.
There's another
First
penetration
charge
here.
timeout, Utah. Please reset the game.
At halftime, we'll have the Dr. Pepper tuition giveaway. A couple of students will test their passing accuracy, try to come up with a prize of $100,000 in tuition from Dr. Pepper. Will not be paid in chips, however, in Las Vegas. Well, again, we stated it, but the Utah coming out, setting the tone from the start, building the lead just like they did in Salt Lake, and the Ducks are kind of backpedaling and on the ropes here, just trying to get to halftime, still down 14.
Time of possession was such a big factor in the last game, especially in the second half. Oregon couldn't get their hands on the ball, and it was plus 11 by the end of the game. By the time this half is over, we're going to be near plus 7 in just the first half alone. Oregon not converting on third down, and they're not holding on to the ball and allowing Utah to get the ball back, and they are converting and taking care of it.
Kirk, the Ducks have run 20 offensive plays in the first half. 20. They will never win. Rising, dropped in the back, and finally Kayvon Thibodeau does make an impact play. His first tackle is a sack back at the 40.
And Daniels has been handling him these one-on-one matchups. Instead of going outside, he fakes outside and comes back underneath of Daniels. That's what you'd like to see from Thibodeau. There's that quickness, suddenness, the kind of the shimmy shake outside, underneath, gets the tackle off balance, and then gets home.
That gives him 4.5 sacks in his career in Pac-12 championship games. He was the MVP in this matchup a couple of years ago in Santa Clara. He was the MVP when they beat USC in the Coliseum a year ago. He waited a while to kind of make an impact play tonight.
It's funny, we were talking at the break. I mean, I've seen Aiden Hutchinson with my own eyes, as Lee Corso says, and I watched Will Anderson. These guys and Thibodeau, those are the 3 that get talked about so often. There are a lot of people talking about putting either all 3 or 2 of the 3 up on the Heisman ballot. And I was watching him so far, and I'm saying to you, and a lot of people hitting me up on text like, where's 5? Where's 5? And that time he's able to get home. But I'll tell you, 97 in blue and 31 in crimson. Those 2 guys, I think, are at a different level personally.
Rising on 3rd and long, right down the middle, a seam shot caught, and down to the 10 is Dalton Kincaid. Wow, what a play.
Great job of getting split safeties. The linebacker has to carry that, and what a throw on a line between the 2 safeties.
Oregon was not lined up on defense and will spend A timeout after a 29-yard gain on 3rd and 14.
Linebacker has to carry this because of the safeties that are going to get separate. They're going to get wide. Too high safety look. So you're going to make the throw right into this area. And it's got to be on a line behind that linebacker right off of his ear because those two safeties are going to close in. Comes off that hitch, another hitch, and there's that throw. Perfectly timed.
So off the sack, he just stands in there and delivers, goes to one of those reliable tight ends. Again, Kincaid playing in his hometown, and now Utah in position with a couple of timeouts or one timeout remaining to go up 3 scores.
I was just about to say after that sack, you kept referencing the first game, what happened near the end of the first half. They come up with that big sack. It's 3rd and 14. You're thinking, man, maybe the Ducks defense can bow up here and get out of here down 14.
Trying to avoid going down 21 points. Fresh bodies running on for Oregon. They're still making changes. And now they give Rising the okay to snap it. Stands and delivers and overshot his man. Oh, he had Kincaid open that time inside the 10. Missed him.
These tight ends are doing so many different routes. Look at this, trying to stay up with these guys. And then he just settles right there. And it looked like Cam was waiting, looking downfield at the last second, was going to come back to Kincaid. His eyes came back to Kincaid. It was like he was stepping one way and then trying to make the throw where he saw Kincaid late.
So all 3 completions on this drive have been to tight ends. They just missed that one. 31 seconds. Play clock at 5. Got to hurry here. Does he see it? Wins to 0-0, and he didn't see it, but Pat Whittingham did and calls time.
3rd and final.
And that's the last time out. He didn't. He said, Cam, what are you doing? I didn't want to spend the last time out there. It could be important. You want to hold that last time out.
It looked like Kyle Whittingham himself may have came down the sideline.
He did, for sure.
But I'm just saying, I don't know if he got it in time. I was watching our clock and watching Kyle Whittingham just because he was definitely starting to work his way down the sideline. 4-3. Watch him up at the top. You can just see his feet. But watch. Now he comes running down to call a timeout. I mean, truthfully, that could have been a delay of game.
I think he was just confused why his quarterback was not paying attention to the play clock. That's not typical for Rising at all.
But I'm just saying, according to that clock, it hit 0. Then he started to jog down and call the timeout.
If you have both things happening and they're that quick, the officials are going to lean towards the timeout.
What if it's a second later? Is that still quick?
Second later, you're not going to get it. But on that one there, you're going to go with it as being the timeout.
We don't know if he yelled it before he got down there. Who knows? Anyway, 2nd and 10. Rising with pressure closing in. Delivers a strike across the middle. Dalton Kincaid and the tight ends dominant on that drive as the Utes stretch it to a 3-touchdown lead. You know it's coming to a tight end. They can't stop it.
Yeah, they do a good job of mixing up whether it's going to be underneath, it gets the eyes of the linebackers, or they're going to slip behind you. And if you don't have safety support behind, you're going to be caught.
And again, so reminiscent of the first matchup. It's a high snap. Now they're trying to scramble, and Mike Williams, the punter and the holder, couldn't make anything happen. So the game stays 20-0. Still too high for him, he says.
Oh, Kincaid is actually in line, works behind this defense. What I want you to see is what's going on with these linebackers and the communication. You got a back sneaking out of the backfield, Pledger, and the eyes right away. How many underneath routes have they thrown? Underneath, they're worried about it. And if you don't have a safety or a linebacker that's sinking in coverage, then you're going to get caught. So it's either underneath, which they've done a lot of, get the linebackers' eyes where they come underneath, they're concerned, and then you're able to sneak the tight end behind. So seems simple, but it's very complicated with how quickly it gets on you.
There's the high snap that Williams couldn't quite handle. That's a 74-yard drive for Utah. 12 plays, 3.5 minutes. Again, very much like the first matchup, whereas a 14-0 game. Oregon had some missed opportunities, and then Utah scored late. And that game was 28-0 at the half. This one feels like a very large 21-point lead.
I know Rising has a couple picks You know, one of them was where he got sacked and the ball went up in the air. But he really is throwing in rhythm. He's had time to throw, and just such, again, a great compliment to their running game and what they like to do.
Kickoff along the ground, and McGee ushered out of bounds with 24 seconds to go in the half. Sunday NFL Countdown, early start time, 9 o'clock Eastern. Steve Young sitting down with Lamar Jackson. Look at the NFL playoff picture. And on Monday Night Football, the Patriots and the Bills. Good one in Buffalo, 8 o'clock on ESPN. Patriots have won 6 in a row. Both Bills coming off a big win in New Orleans on Thanksgiving. Very few teams eliminated. It seems like everybody is alive for the playoffs in the NFL. All of them within a couple of games of 500 at this point, headed down the home stretch. It's going to be frantic. Anthony Brown trying to make some magic happen, delivers a long throw, and it's broken up. Getting there was Clark Phillips III, freshman out of California.
Anthony Brown, a little frustrated there. I think he wanted to see his receiver work back to the football to prevent the defender from being able to come around and make a play on the football. And again, that's part of the youth of Tony Franklin.
Brown just 5 completions in the first half, just 37 passing yards. Oregon still sitting at 65 total yards, running a measly 21 plays so far. Plays downfield have been really hard to come by. Tafua chasing Brown. They close in on him. He gets around the corner and just flings it, and is picked off. So a disastrous decision. Thought he was just going to throw it away or keep it. And Mateele makes an interception, and the Utes have 8 seconds to try to add to this lead. Wow.
What's some, you know, I thought he was just going to step out of bounds, obviously, or just throw it away. Great pressure without blitzing by the big fella, Tafua. Then he gets outside, just throw it away. Throw it away. He's trying, he feels desperate to have to make a play. Throws it back, which is a disaster. He knows that, but he feels like he has to try to make a play. The ball is out before the right foot touches. Throw it back into the teeth of that defense, and there's the interception.
Don't see many interceptions thrown from well beyond the field of play, but you're right. He was hoping that foot came down
in Oregon
before
down,
he threw it in this case.
Oregon down 20. They have 65 yards of offense, 24 seconds to start this drive. I mean, I know you want to try to get some points, but you're probably much better off just taking a knee and going to the showers down 20 and trying to make some adjustments.
Let's see if they can keep the Utes out of the end zone here. We're going to have the same score we had first game at halftime. Utes have no timeouts. They can get a completion if it's first down, go up and try to spike the ball. But maybe they just take a shot deep down the field.
Oregon. 30 seconds in length.
So Oregon will try to set their defense with the last time out here. I tell you, you just listening to the Ducks, listening to Cristobal and his staff, you just didn't expect this kind of performance. They had vowed to be much better. We knew Utah was going to come in and play well. I mean, they're everything to play for. The Rose Bowl at stake. I'm surprised with the way Oregon's played.
Yeah, I'm beyond this. Just looking at the score and the numbers, the energy, or should I say lack thereof. I mean, there's no fire from Oregon from the opening series. The defense is sparked from one series to the next, but the offense is just going through the motions.
The rush yards even worse than that meeting 13 days ago. Again, they were down 28 zip. Can the defense prevent further damage right now? Oregon will get the ball to begin the second half. Rising takes a short pass on the outside, so with 5 seconds to go, they needed to get a little bit closer to feel comfortable about the field goal from Jaden Redding, and he'll trot out right now to try to make it 23-0. His career long is 47, so this is fringe from 50 yards, just on the hash mark. House money, can you say? Utah trying to build the lead here, and Redding drives it right through. So Anthony Brown does pay for that decision and that interception, and Utah just like round one in Salt Lake, is in total command at the break.
About to find out who the leaders are on the Oregon roster.
And if
they're going to get back in this game.
Utah a half away from Pasadena. The Capital One halftime report. Kevin Negandhi and Booker McFarland coming up right after these messages.
Coach Whitting.
ESPN, home of the college football playoff semifinals. Friday, December 31st on ESPN.
Welcome back to Dr. Pepper Championship Week.
Set for the second half here in Las Vegas. The Pac-12 Championship on ABC, presented by Dr. Pepper. And this presentation of the Pac-12 on ESPN, part of Dr. Pepper Championship Week. Well, the rematch has looked a lot like the original in Salt Lake City 13 days ago. The Utes and the Ducks have played 6 quarters now, and it's, 61-7 in favor of Utah. Chris Fowler back with Kirk Herbstreit. What can the Ducks do to get the football first to try to climb back in this thing?
No, he's here about the middle 8, the last 4 in the first 4 of the second half. This is going to be an important drive for Oregon. See what Joe Moorhead has come up with to try to make some tweaks to an offense that had nothing going for them in the first half. Give Utah all the credit in the world, but Anthony Brown, who we talked about in the open, needed to kind of come in and do a good job running and throwing, but Devin Lloyd intercepts him early in this game to kind of set the tone. Do a good job of giving him one look pre-snap, go to another look. That's one of the knocks on Anthony Brown, is changing the picture on him could affect him. And here, just feeling desperate to make a play, throws it into traffic, an interception, which ended up being another 3 points for Utah before the end of the half. So I would say at 23-0, and after a 38-7 loss in their first matchup, this drive is essential for the Ducks to try to come back and be competitive.
Brown with that ankle taped. He had it tweaked early in the game. Don't know if that's been an impact or not, but mentally he has not been his usual self. Dye wasn't much of a factor in the first half, just tripped up by a shoestring tackle after a 10-yard gain. Holly?
Well, guys, Mario Cristobal of the Oregon Ducks said that they have just not had all 11 guys on the same page to execute at the same time on too many plays. He said, we got stuff going, we had some nice perimeter runs, but we just couldn't sustain it. We made 2 bad decisions with the ball. That led to 10 points. We just have to be smarter.
Well, similar to what he said at halftime of the first one, Holly. Dye, that time is mauled at the line of scrimmage. Billinger stopped him, 1-yard gain.
The reality right now, if you're Morgan Scalley, the defensive coordinator from Utah, you're very confident in the matchups on the perimeter. I mean, this is a very complicated, complex scheme to begin with. They like to mix up coverages, but they're winning and not feeling threatened downfield, and it's allowing them to play close to the line of scrimmage against the run and the short pass.
To your point, Kirk, there are 10 guys massed near the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
Brown under pressure, back pedals and delivers just a little late. Getting there early and interfering was Cole Bishop, the excellent true freshman safety. Franklin, the intended receiver.
Yeah, he did get there a little bit early. This time they are trying to get the ball downfield, and he jumps the route. I think he did a nice job of seeing that route develop.
6. Ball will be placed in the spot of the foul. Includes an automatic first down.
But Bishop, who is the freshman all the way from Georgia, comes over to play for Ohio State. Verbal to Duke, and ended up Utah heard about him, came in on him late, and they said he fit their personality, and he's been a great addition as a true freshman. That time got there a little early.
He's beaten out the senior Brandon McKinney at that safety position. Began his career making an impact on special teams, battled a hamstring. Boy, has he come on strong late in the season. Blocked that field goal against the Ducks in the first quarter of the first meeting. Ball at midfield now. Brown looking to run, is dropped by Bishop right at the line of scrimmage.
He's trying to bait Bishop, trying to make him take him a little bit earlier, and then it's almost like an option play where you, instead of pitching it, you're going to throw it downfield to Travis Dye, 26 on a wheel route, just trying to bring him, draw him towards him and then throw it. But Devin Lloyd, the other linebacker, took Travis Dye away, so just nowhere to go with the football.
Dye had 7 yards rushing in the first half. Got 10 yards in his first carry of the third quarter. He's got it again. He's got some space and shows some power driving the legs. Good run down to the 35. Devin Lloyd eventually got him to the ground.
Yeah, good push up front. Now you're seeing a little bit of movement by the left side of that offensive line. Forsythe, Bass does a nice job. 56, 77 in there. George Moore. All he needs a little bit of room to be able to run. And that time he bounced off of Devin Lloyd. I mean, this guy's a physical runner. When you give him a chance, give him a little crease.
Nice little sideways cut, that run. At 14 yards. Brown gets it out quickly on the edge. This is Dye. Gets some blocks. And the Ducks beginning to get some chunk plays, and Dye's been a big part. Hudson, the freshman wide receiver, made the block. When they lost those veterans, Kirk, they lost a lot of blocking in the run game from those receivers.
Yeah, perimeter blocking, a big part of what they do. That time, see how quickly Tafua got in there, almost caught Anthony Brown off guard. He was able to get that ball thrown around Tafua with the penetration, and there you go, 26 Dye. If he's not running it, getting him in space is probably their best threat tonight with all the injuries to receiver.
Byron Cardwell, number 21, wearing that coveted Oregon number, spells him.
You got Devin Williams one-on-one at the top there. Nice matchup.
Cardwell has some speed. That is a terrific tackle. Billinger's made an impact off that edge tonight.
He really has. Young player that doesn't get talked about as much. What a huge future he has as a freshman. Plays with tremendous power. Good awareness and instincts for a young player.
Billinger from Draper, Utah.
So Oregon, first matchup, had chances in the red zone. They weren't able to score touchdowns. Tonight they've gotten close down into this area, missed a field goal, haven't been able to come away with any points. They have to capitalize on this series.
Yeah, they should forget the field goal attempts at this point. Brown pulls it and stiff arm, but dragged down by Cole Bishop. Freshman won that battle in the open field, drops him back at the 25.
Watch how quickly he eliminates the cushion. Watch how quickly he makes this read and then takes away the cushion of Anthony Brown right there. He's going to come in quickly and then settle and then get underneath of that potential stiff arm and make a play. Kid's a true freshman.
Big future. Talked about how young this Utah defense is. They'll lose some studs like Lloyd
and Tafua.
Perhaps Tafua, but they've got a lot of young guys.
Everybody, young group.
3rd and 12 here, play clock at 4. Brown, does he see it? Now he's going to call. They'll have to spend an early timeout here, but it's a crucial play as the Ducks try to finally get on the board. Nice night for the Goodyear blimp, providing the aerial coverage, making the plays that move you forward. Goodyear, more driven. So the Ducks, who have faced an average third down distance tonight, Kurt, of 9.3 yards. Big reason why they have yet to convert on their 5 chances. Face another 3rd and long here.
You're looking for at least 6 or 7 yards. There's no, at this point in the game, you don't necessarily have to get all 12 yards. Give yourself a chance.
Dye is the back, 2-by-2 receiver look.
Showing pressure and backed out.
And they back it out. Brown has time, delivers downfield at the goal line, knocked away, incomplete. Devin Williams was there, but Cole Bishop, that freshman again, broke it up.
You got to catch the ball. You do a good job of keeping your body between the defender and the ball. That's the best thing that Devin Williams did. He protects the football right there. Now you just got to secure it. I mean, that's a hard play for Cole Bishop. Good throw. Right, the defender's behind the play. He does a good job of trying to fight around, but man, Devin Williams, great receivers, got to catch that ball.
The ball was juggled even before there was contact. You're right. So here's Lewis, who's had a trouble kicking field goals against Utah. Missed his first 3. Was 0 for 1 tonight, but knocks it through from 42. Oregon's on the board, but the lead is still 20, not what they were looking for with the first possession of the second half. The Liv Moss Student Section of the Year contest. Ducks students trying to show some support there. Utah fans fired up. Student section sauce to get the committee's attention. ESPN.com/Taco Bell for more information. So Oregon moves the ball down the field, and again, trouble in scoring position. Just got to make that play if you're Williams.
Yeah. I've been, the thing that's blown me away tonight is just the body language from Oregon throughout the game, and it starts to make you think about this whole discussion around the country with coaching carousels and the rumors that swirl around, and Mario's had to deal with that, the potential talk about him maybe one day going back home to Miami. Players hear that. Joe Moorhead's being rumored to take Akron's head coaching job. And you wonder if that has had some kind of negative impact on the team or the players, because it's very unusual to lose 38-7. 2 weeks later, you get a chance to avenge that. You show up flat, and I don't know, it just doesn't add up.
I hear you. Lewis drives the field goal out.
Well, Cameron Rising and this offense first half did a really nice job of taking advantage of opportunities. He was in rhythm, made good reads. He threw a couple of picks, but it was really more of this. A lot of underneath routes, and then when the underneath routes were taken, he was able to get the defense to be concerned about that and make them pay for it. Find some openings behind that coverage and throw some touchdowns on some seam balls. So Cam Rising 12 of 20, but just really managing the game well and putting this offense in a position to have a good night.
His challenge is the Utes are under center and in shotgun about 50-50. It's very unusual in college football.
I love it.
Thomas doesn't get too far, lost the ball. There's a scrum for it. Oregon says it's their third takeaway tonight. It's a back that had a lot of trouble, fumbled back-to-back games. They've had control there. Yeah, he lost fumbles, then missed basically 2 entire games, didn't get a touch while being in the doghouse.
He's fighting for extra yards. The ball is out. Whoa. It's just who's matter. Does he get it back?
Yeah, Sewell punched it out. They were able to recover it, but when a back has a history of fumbling, they see it on tape, they're going to go after it every time.
There's 3 Oregon players there, and somehow Utah gets it back.
Thomas again didn't have a great handle on that handoff, and he's bumped out of bounds again by Sewell.
Said Sewell knocks it out.
Yeah, punched it out there.
I'm just trying to see how he got the ball back. Like I said, you have McKinley's there, Sewell's there. He throws his right arm. How in the world did Sewell not recover that football? I don't see.
They ruled that Oregon Utah possession.
I don't know how Oregon didn't have the ball there. Who recovered it from Utah?
If you don't have a clear and obvious recovery, replay can't get involved in it. So if the officials on the field rule it the offense's ball, that's what it is.
3rd and 3 is incomplete. So the Ducks do get off the field there. Trying to make the long climb back into this game. Talked about Mario Cristobal. Certainly our thoughts are with him. His mom, Clara, is in Miami, gravely ill. He made the trip down there the day after the Civil War game. He wanted to make it clear that it was not to explore the job opportunity at his alma mater in Miami. Manny Diaz still has the job. And as of the moment, they don't have an official athletic director, although Dan Radakovich has been rumored to be in the running for that, as the punt is a little dead. And Cristobal wanted everybody to know he took the materials. He was doing game prep on the plane, but there are plenty of rumors swirling, and the chorus is getting louder. So stay tuned.
Shoulders of the San Gabriel Mountains framing our picture.
There's something sacred about this game and this stadium.
Beautiful to hear the voice of Keith Jackson and my partner here. The Rose Bowl game presented by Capital One, of course, on New Year's Day. The winner here represents the Pac-12. If Michigan wins the Big Ten championship, Ohio State would inherit the Big Ten spot on the Rose Bowl game. If Iowa upsets the Wolverines, of course, they would win the Big Ten, and they would square off against the winner here. The granddaddy of them all began in 1902. 44 different schools have played in the Rose Bowl. Utah would love to be the 45th. They have never been.
Okay.
Oregon still alive, but down 20 as they begin from their 14. And the snap gets past Brown, who has to dive at the goal line. Was he outside of the end zone? Yes. no safety. They'll spot it a foot away from the goal line.
Two things bad there: the snap and the timing of the jet motion by Hudson. Forsythe snaps this ball right when Hudson was directly behind him. Look at that, could not have been any worse. They're lucky it somehow didn't hit his knee, then it would have bounced anywhere.
Checking the progressive pylon cam, he's got the ball and he's down. That's a good call, just short of the goal line. But 2nd and 23. Utes fans making noise. Dye just has to battle to avoid a safety again. Knocked down at the 2. Utes are coming downhill.
Fillinger 7 off the edge. You talked about him earlier. Look at him. Look at him and just imposing his will. Again, get caught up with Tafua, 42, who's the guy that's headed to the NFL. 7, the freshman, 6'4", 260 pounds, can win on that edge too.
The Ute defenders can smell blood. A chance to put this game away right here. 3rd and 22. Brown, feet moving around, and he can't escape. Dropped at the 5 by Fillinger again. What a series for the freshman from Draper, Utah.
I mean, as soon as Brown took that snap, Utah had a twist. He saw it, and he just right away, his feet got uncomfortable. He didn't want to take the safety. He's thinking, can I get outside? They do a great job of containing him. That has been a big emphasis all week. Make him play from the pocket. Don't let him get outside. Nice job there by the end, Tafua, doing a good job of keeping him in there.
Look out, Britton Covey. Look at his chops, setting up at the Oregon 49 to receive the punt from Tom Snee. It's just a buzz when he gets set to return a punt. All the Utes fans are up. It's a very short kick. He fields it at the 44 and gets slammed into. Just refuses to fair catch, just pops right up, has a look at the Oregon bench. And the Utes once again will set up in plus territory, trying to build a 20-point lead. Seeing this is. I want to congratulate longtime member of our crew, replay operator Margaret Krause. Finished her chemotherapy recently and rang the bell to mark that occasion. Can't wait to get her back on the road with us. It's V Week at ESPN. Our partnership, many years with the V Foundation, highlights the urgent need for cancer research. You can learn how to help and support the V Foundation by visiting v.org/donate. Rising, chucks it downfield, and it's just over the hands of Theo Howard.
Love when the DB gets beat. The ball goes through the receiver's hands. Then he wants to stand up and let the receiver know, no, not today. He was beat. Got behind him. Should have been a big play for the offense. How about little things that get forgotten or lost? The punt, 54-yard punt by Mike Williams. Last Utah possession. It bounced all the way to the 14-yard line. The bad snap by Oregon. They punt from inside their own 2-yard line. Now they get to start a drive at the plus 45. See what they can do with it.
Pledger's the back. Fake it to him. Rising on the keep. Some tackles. Rising in the secondary. Weaving his way all the way down to the 4-yard line. Cam Rising makes an electric play.
Little zone read to mix in here on this Oregon defense, and not always blocking Thibodeau, sometimes reading him. He collapses down on Pledger. Good job of pulling it. Gets a quick block there by Keithy, and then he shows you that he runs with some physicality. Able to break through some arm tackles and show some speed. 1st and goal here now.
And Thomas barrels in. Pledger check it. And a touchdown for Utah. They got the short field. The big run by the quarterback sets up the touchdown run, and there's some tempers after the play. And that feels like the knockout here midway 3rd quarter. Oregon unable to get 7 in that possession before, settled for 3, and the Utes just right back to work. It's the first time that Rising's made a huge impact with a long distance run. He'd run for some first downs on 3rd and 4th downs.
After the play on sportsmanlike conduct, offense number 78 for taunting, The 15-yard foul will be enforced on the kickoff.
So the touchdown stands. What a night for Rising. Guy who was a verbal commit to Oklahoma, went to Texas. We talked about that. Came here, shoulder injury, didn't have a 2020 at all. And then
big night.
Comes on in game 4 here and has had a tremendous season.
Laumea, who got that personal foul, was off the field, coming back on. They're trying to go for 2 here. Utah fans appreciate the gesture. Up 26, go for 2.
Rising escapes and scampers in. And the Utah faithful, they can smell it. The Rose Bowl beckons. They're jumping around on the far side of the field as the Utes, again, are putting it on Oregon. Here's the big 41-yard run that set it up.
Yep, great read. Shows what he can do in the open field. And, you know, one thing about Rising is that he has an uncanny ability to make a read and just a feel in the open space. He'll surprise you. Very talented. Chris, you said earlier what kind of athlete he is, running track and having speed. I think it's his toughness that you love to see. And just a great leader. Understands the offense.
Here's a 2-point play.
Just a block. You might see it right there. One of the many tight ends. That was Kincaid. Opened that up for him.
Talked about Rising as an athlete. He's got some good arm talent, but he's also got the intangibles. There's just something about the guy. Whittingham was talking about it. The teammates respond to it, feed off of it. It's hard to put a finger on it, right? But you know when you see it in a quarterback.
Oh, for sure. That it factor you always hear about. And, you know, this team prides itself every year. You talk to any Pac-12 coach or player, and before the season starts, people are talking about USC or whatever team it might be. And the coaches and players are right away talking about Kyle Whittingham and Utah and their brand of football that they have year in and year out.
7 McGee. And he will sprint to the edge and be ushered out. You know, Utah actually has more players in the NFL than Pac-12 school. They'll reinforce that. We got plenty of talent now.
The last 6 years, more drafted than anybody out west.
Championship games coming up on ABC. Big 12 game presented by Dr. Pepper in Arlington. American Athletic Championship game. Cincy trying to punch their ticket. 4-team bracket. ACC in prime time. Utah trying to be just the 2nd team from the South Division to win a Pac-12 championship. First 10, 9 of them went to the North. 3 by Oregon. USC, the 1 team from the South to ever win a Pac-12 championship game. First championship in this league for the Utes. Still some work to do, but lead is 28. Time running down. Better get on the same page here. Center and quarterback having a conversation.
Has to delay a game.
Yeah, I mean they're clearly not on the same page. They haven't been all night, really.
Yeah. Forsyth was trying to tell Anthony Brown, let's move this to the left. I mean, they're having a discussion for 10 seconds.
TikTok, fellas.
I'm going to say I'm a huge fan of the Oregon program and have been for a long time. This is an embarrassment on this big a stage. Playing for a Pac-12 championship, down 31-3 after 2 weeks ago, losing to this same team 38-7. I mean, I was all wound up thinking it's going to be a brawl for 60 minutes, and only one team showed up tonight.
Franklin makes the catch. I agree. It's inexplicable. We saw a couple years ago, Utah had everything to play for. They were ranked 5th in the CFP rankings. They had a chance to go to the playoff. They just didn't show up in that game. It was the Ducks who jumped them, and they weren't themselves tonight. Rising wasn't there, but a lot of these veterans on Utah were, and they learned from that experience. Man, did they handle it well tonight, and Oregon just hasn't. I get the feeling they could play for 20 quarters, and it'd be just the same.
Yeah. There's a hold on the right tackle.
Brown's still going to get dropped. Still get him to the ground despite the hold, which wasn't called.
This is a great example of teams around the country. Nick Saban talks about this, a lot of the great coaches. It's 31-3. Utah thinks it's 3-0. They are playing for 60 minutes. They're not going to let up. It's the same approach. It's all they know. It's all they do. And if Oregon thinks they're going to feel sorry for them, it's only going to get worse.
There's going to be no mercy. Absolutely not. Dye bolts forward and is tackled near the marker. He's just short at the 41. Holly?
You guys, I went to the final practice of the season at Utah on Wednesday afternoon, and Mika Tafua was asked to stand up and speak to the team and address them. The final words that they heard before they got ready to take this trip were, "We are going to show that we are the most physical team in the pack. Let's go out and show that bleep." He was inspirational. He had the guys fired up, and he's playing just like it. They had a point to prove tonight, and they're playing like it.
No doubt.
I think they had proven the point, but they just reinforced it. Right?
One more reminder.
Yeah. 3rd and 1. Dye will worm his way for.
I love hearing a story like that from Holly, because I'm just a big believer in a team that self-polices. You know, when you have Tafua and you have Devin Lloyd, you have guys that can stand up, and when they stand up, the freshmen look at him like, "Oh, he's talking," and that carries weight on a team, especially late in the year in November and December championship runs. Great teams have great leaders, and your hardest workers are your best players. That's when you have something special.
Never has Kyle Winningham had more fun coaching a team, and he'll be in a good mood about that one. Coming in to make the sack is Tennessee Pudithau. Big old number 99. Everybody's joining the party in this Utes defense.
Well, this is a good job again of seeing what they can do when you take away and you have 7 in coverage. There's nobody open. And the quarterbacks, how many times have we seen Utah this year? You know, they came in 38 sacks, tops in the Pac-12, but the quarterbacks often on these sacks are holding the ball because they don't have anywhere to throw the ball because of the coverage, and the communication on the back end allows the rush to get home.
Brown, little screen. About to catch it is Crocker, and he's going to be knocked down inside the 45. We'll follow up on your point about this being an embarrassment for an Oregon program. You can make all kinds of excuses. Yes, this is offense riddled with injuries. They're really a shell of themselves in terms of the personnel they had mid-season. But it seems to be a little bit deeper than that.
No. Yeah, it's the fight. It's the want. It's the determination that's lacking tonight, which is shocking for Mario's team.
Full start. Offense number 78. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
The reason why Utah was so determined to say that they're the more physical team is that's what Cristobal has been talking about at Oregon. And they firmly believe that, hey, before the game in Salt Lake, they were the more physical team in the Pac-12. The entire identity of this program he's tried to reshape to be more about the trenches, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Alabama-like.
Yeah, that's what he's brought in, that kind of mentality. Chip Kelly made Oregon known for their execution, their speed, and innovative offense. And, 7, 8, 9 years later, I think it's more about now trying to talk about how tough they're going to be, and Utah hears that message.
Dye out of the backfield is tackled short of the marker.
One thing I never understood about those Chip Kelly teams is they were as physical, they were probably more physical than anybody, but because they had a lot of big playability and a lot of speed, often they were looked at because of how fast they were. But man, on both sides of the ball, those older Oregon teams, they were all about dominating the line of scrimmage.
They were, no doubt, but they also had guys who could make a house call from anywhere on the field.
D'Anthony Thomas, yeah. Ken Young,
Michael James, on and on. Yeah. Quarterbacks too, for that.
Yeah.
4th down and 4. Ducks got to have it. Brown, a long throw, and it's broken up. Man, that's a long throw to get 4 yards. And making the play is Clark Phillips.
And I love Clark Phillips, a young player. It's Marcus Mariota. Yeah, look at this jump by 8. Phillips knows where the first down marker is, steps in front, almost comes up with an interception, but clearly gets his hand on the ball to knock that away. I thought they'd stay away from Phillips tonight. He is one of the top young corner, another freshman, by the way, but one of the top corners in his conference. Technician for such a young player.
No doubt, and also one of the guys who's particularly inspired. He was very, very close to Aaron Lowe and is talking about dedicating his season to it.
Yeah. Got the overrated chant going here on Oregon.
They had it going 13 days ago, too, in Salt Lake, and it's almost as loud now.
Morgan Scalley, the defensive coordinator, was telling me about Clark Phillips. He said he's almost like a Boy Scout. Like he says stuff that other players look at him like he's almost like a brown nose, because he's like the teacher's pet, because he's such a like studious, like good kid, listening.
Those are bad things?
Taking no, but I mean he gets kind of poked at in a fun way with his teammates, because he's like in the front row, has his pencil out, taking notes. Like, to me, that's kind of corner you dream about.
Bernard knifing into the secondary. And he's tackled at the 40-yard line. DJ James kind of got run over, but he got him to the ground. And Utah playing with a lot of determination against a Duck team that is capitulating here.
Look at the line of scrimmage here. Watch this. Put him on skates, move him around. Noah Sewell's up there. Oh, my gosh, did you see that block?
Utah is enjoying every second of this, and so are their fans.
But Nick Ford put a guy straight on his back. I think it was Jeffrey Bassett.
Kobe comes in motion. They hand it off again to Bernard, who tries to bounce it, gets the edge, and is knocked down after an 8-yard gain. There's a flag in the backfield.
Yeah, we got a hold here, coming back.
Holding offense number 77. 10 yards from the previous spot. First down.
Just kind of, I wanted to go back to the previous play just to kind of watch 55. This kind of sums up the night. He locks up with Bassa, keeps driving him 5-10 yards, and then just lands on top of him. And like you said, they're not only doing it, it looks like they're enjoying doing it.
It does.
Ford has played everywhere throughout his career. He's been a tackle, played guard some this year, center. What a leader he is for that front.
Any team come farther from where they began to where they are now than Utah? 1-2.
Wisconsin maybe, but no, this has been impressive.
Bobby makes the catch and is knocked down. The team that lost to BYU, lost to San Diego State in a crazy triple overtime game before they got going. And now they are definitely going all the way to Pasadena. End of 3 in Vegas. Back after this message and a word from your local ABC station. Curtis Wilson piloting the All-State bus. What's your All-State celebration moment today, Kirk?
Well, I think you got to talk about the Utah defense. I mean, the last time these two teams played, that was the story of the game, and here we are 13 days later, and it's still the story of these two teams when they get together. Anthony Brown has not had much of an opportunity to make many plays. The front from Utah, the linebackers, the secondary, Morgan Scalley has him dialed in and playing well. Look at that, going back to just a couple weeks ago. Very similar. The only difference is even better tonight on the third downs, which was a huge emphasis for Oregon to improve.
Fourth quarter begins with the Utes threatening again. Bernard knocked down behind the line. Oregon, it's their third consecutive conference championship game. That's the only Power 5 team that can say that, with Ohio State and Oklahoma and Clemson all getting knocked out. There's an asterisk. They represented the North last year because Washington couldn't field enough players and went down and won at the Coliseum. But this is just a seismic, this is a double knockout within a 3-game stretch against Utah. That feels like more than a loss.
To me, it's not just a loss. This is a setback. As a program, this is a setback. I mean, you just don't see any fight from this team all night. You know, you pride yourself on this team. That's what they talk about, is being a team that's gonna. They went to Columbus. Think of that team that went to Columbus. Think of the energy and the "we'll show you" mentality that they played with early in the year. This is the complete polar opposite of the way they played in Columbus.
Yeah, they've tracked the total different direction than Utah. We talked about the Utes struggling. 505 yards. You see Jalen Redd. I talked to him and Johnny Johnson. It's been killing them to not be able to make contributions on the field. There's C.J. Verdell, who ran wild against Ohio State. But that Oregon defense, they gave up a lot of yards, but they also hung tough in Columbus, and they kept Ohio State on 3 possessions in the fourth quarter when they were trying to come back in the game. That screen is snuffed out nicely. Play made by Jordan Happel. I agree with you. It's really unexpected. I mean, if you didn't expect the first result in Salt Lake, understand that maybe anybody short of Georgia, but had a hard time winning against Utah in that environment that night. But you heard the Ducks talk all week about the rematch. It would be different.
Payback.
Yeah, it's been a lot more of the same.
This one feels worse. You know,
It's Bernard.
Chris, you and I've called a lot of games together. Since 14, you and I've been calling games on ABC, and the only other game that I remember feeling like this about, when there was a lot on the line late in the year. See if you can remember it.
Miami, North Carolina?
Yes, Miami, North Carolina.
Because the Canes just didn't show up.
Miami just said, you know what? Season's over. Forget the Orange Bowl. Forget trying to get to a New Year's. We've had enough. They just didn't. I mean, what did North Carolina had 700 yards of offense?
Like
could have had 1,000.
Backs, yeah.
That's what this reminds me of.
It's puzzling. You went from again in position to go to the playoff to a likely Alamo Bowl bid spot off the loss. Bernard in motion, rising, took a look, dodged the tackle. They still can't get him to the ground. It's another first down in the red zone. And the crowd just appreciating the determination that this team continues to show.
Yeah. Well, as we're talking about what's not right with Oregon, there's a lot right with Utah. And again, Rising bouncing off of Sewell. He's a big physical linebacker, shows you how hard he runs the football. But, you know, we're focusing on Oregon because we're surprised and shocked with the way this game has gone. I think the focus from this point forward and most of tonight has been on Utah's defense and Rising and how dominant they have been, how well coached they are. It's a good football team.
Pledger picks his way. And they'll be strong representatives of the Pac-12 in Pasadena. Talked to so many Utah fans, and there's so many folks in red. It's about a 6-hour drive from Salt Lake. There's plenty of fans in this area, and they said just once we want to get to Pasadena. How about be in that city? Then I could die. That's what they said.
Right.
They're going to see that dream.
They will take over Pasadena.
Be careful now. The Big Ten can travel too.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you have a Michigan win, it would more than likely be Ohio State and Utah, and if it's Iowa, it'd be the Hawkeyes in Utah.
Thomas again patiently picks his way, lowers his shoulder, and just runs over folks. It's first and goal.
Boy, this is a good run and representative of the way this night has gone. Nice job of waiting. Did you see Keithy coming around on that counter, on that block by the tight end? Nice job of waiting for him to secure the block and then running through another would-be tackle by Noah Sewell. He wanted that end zone so badly.
He's got one tonight, one more to get to 20 rushing touchdowns for the season. Bunch of tight ends in the ball game again. 3 of them for the Utes on first and goal. Play clock is winding down. And Rising feeds it to him. That was easy. He's walked in twice. And Utah putting a foot in the Ducks. It's a party in Vegas. Look out.
Something really beautiful about one running back and 3 tight ends in modern college football in 2021. Where you often see 4 and 5 receivers. This is about offensive line play, tight ends, creating extra gaps, affecting the communication of a defense and how gap sound they are, and a back that has a really good feel to find the crease. It's just beautiful. Old school and very effective.
Tavian Thomas comes from Dayton, Ohio, went to Cincy for a couple of years, went to Independence Community College, came to Utah, and wanted to make an impact this season. He has, and now he says, give me that ring. Give me that Pac-12 championship ring. Hush the crowd. In ESPN, exclusive reveal. This was not one of the pieces in the puzzle, but they begin to tumble tomorrow. Capital One Orange Bowl, Goodyear Cotton Bowl, the 2 semifinals. This is the final top 25 rankings. House Bowl rankings brought to you by AT&T 5G. Kirk, so
this thing's wide open.
Yeah, all eyes
wide
on the
open.
SEC, and I guess everyone else hoping that Georgia can knock Alabama out with a second loss, and fans are still suspicious that a 2-loss Alabama would get in, but it would take a lot of things to happen, right? Tell them right. McGee bites out to the
Tell the fine folks now.
Flag is down on the return. Cincinnati, listen, the committee's told him for a while now, you're good enough. You're in the top 4. At a 10-point favorite against Houston, you'd feel like there's no chance. If they win, they're in, right?
Yeah.
No chance they get bumped.
I think that, well, I think there's going to be a discussion. I think they have, a really
strong lobbying from Stillwater about the Cowboys' resume.
Based on what they've accomplished, and if they beat Baylor. If you look at just the resumes, you could make a strong case for Oklahoma State.
Team number 43, after the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, kicking team number 87 with a headbutt. Both penalties will be enforced. First down.
A headbutt, Thomas Yasmin. Holly?
Well, guys, Tavion Thomas having a heck of a night and a wonderful season, his 20th touchdown of the year. And it wasn't that long ago that he was really struggling in life. Look at this tweet that he put out. Just a few months ago, he was sleeping in his car, watching college football on his cell phone, wishing he could get another shot. And here he is tonight for the University of Utah. He got that opportunity, but he's made the most of it. Everybody said he has been a joy to coach. He's worked hard. He's kept at it. And all the things that have turned around for this young man, really good addition to this Utah team. He's got a home now.
That's great.
No doubt. Came in, had to work hard to adjust to the Pac-12 and Utah's standard of work after playing Independence Community College. We talked about the fumbles early, had to work his way out of the doghouse. Now he wants to get fitted for that Pac-12 championship ring. And the Rose Bowl, of course, is the ultimate prize for teams out of this conference. And Utah talked about never having gotten there.
And he grew up in Dayton, Ohio, so he has a great appreciation for the Rose Bowl.
Brown steps up and delivers underneath, and then Spencer Webb. Boy, Brown could just never get going tonight. Kirk never seemed to be settled in, never was on the same page with the center or his receivers.
No, I mean, this offense, and he's a big part of it, running and throwing, just 140 yards. I mean, Joe Moorhead is a very talented offensive coordinator and play caller, but when you can't stretch a field and you're losing the battle up front, it's really hard to call plays. The receivers not getting separation and not winning downfield.
Dye has to fight hard. They do convert the third and 1. Third down has been a nightmare tonight. Exactly what they knew they couldn't have. A lot of third and longs. That's been the case against this defense. Dye's had a much better game than he did the first time. 62 yards on his 12 carries. Also caught 4 passes.
Whoever's going to draw Utah in the Rose Bowl, man, that will be a battle. It's such a sound team, so well coached.
Cardwell out of the backfield. He has to juke, but he'll be dragged down by Sewell there at the 42.
Everybody, whether it's a zone or a combination of matchup zone where you play a little bit of man, you still can play some zone. Everybody just is communicating, everybody on the same page. You rarely see any mistakes or busts in coverage or gaps. I mean, you might beat them, you might execute better, but we haven't seen much of that tonight. I just really appreciate watching defenses where there aren't mistakes.
Been fun to watch. You appreciate smart, sound, aggressive, hard-hitting, cohesive defense.
And cohesive. They play as a group. All 11 are connected.
Third down and 2 play. Dye inverts again and scoots down to the 40.
There's a guy.
About coaches, Kirk, that have been at their programs for a long time. We talked about Iowa. Kirk Ferentz, the longest tenured at his school, 23 seasons. Whittingham and Mike Gundy, of course, who are both playing for conference championships.
Yeah.
They're 2 and 3 at 17 years. I wonder if it's a coincidence or if it has something to do with the turmoil where we are in the sport, that these 3 coaches, all of the Three longest tenure guys have had really, really strong seasons.
Really good years.
Playing for conference championships.
I don't think that's an accident. You know.
Brown down the seam again. Miscommunication. Williams, who hasn't caught a pass tonight, had that drop down near the goal line on the hard hit, just didn't have his head turned.
Did not have his head turned. He was between the corner to safety. He kept running his route. He stayed on the route instead of looking back and being able to adjust to the football. See how he sits right into that seam. The ball is thrown, but by the time he looks for the ball, it's past him. Really good graphic. You think about all those guys, the years that they've had and the championships that they are competing for.
Batted down, incomplete at the line. That's Tafua again.
And I think there's a message there in this very oh boy, the duck. Poor duck. What a night, 38-3. Doing ab work tonight.
He will not quit though.
No.
Not quitting this duck.
No, he'll keep going. But I think the continuity that you build when you have that continuity with your coordinators and the players understand it. All three of those guys have been through some very challenging moments, but their athletic directors always stuck by them.
Here comes the pressure on 3rd and 10. Ball is out and caught. Finally, Williams makes a catch. His first tonight, and he's knocked down at the 22. And a flag comes in, and Tepper's a little flaring on the far side there. Davis was involved. Almost expect this. It got ugly at the end of the Oregon State game. Beavers perhaps doing more of the instigating on the losing end of that one, and see if this kind of stuff pops up in the last 7 minutes of this game. Man down on the field for Utah.
Kyle Whittingham was right there when that started. He's trying to pull his players back.
The result of the play is a first down. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, offense number 2. 15-yard penalty. It will be 1st and 10.
It's Williams flagged after he finally got involved and made a catch.
Timeout for an injured player.
Take a break. Check that. Utah medical staff attending to Vaughn, safety, or the corner, I should say, on the far side. It's a team that plays with, they only play with 4 corners on the team.
Davis thinks he's still in bounds. He's just trying to make a tackle, and Williams didn't care for it. And everybody, he pushes him. I think that's where the flag when he hit him on top of the helmet.
Timeout on the field.
Does it right on the Utah sideline.
Now we'll take the break here. 6:41 to play in Vegas.
The Pac-12 Championship on ABC is presented by Dr. Pepper. Delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper. The one fans deserve.
You a fan of the stratosphere?
Allison made me do that one year, and
it was one and done?
There's no chance that you could ever.
You like the backslide?
No, I don't like any of that. No chance.
Rodeo's in town here.
It is.
First of 10 nights was last night. The
seen the boys all
National
over.
Rodeo,
Yeah.
all over the place. Ducks trying to salvage what they can here. Got to reach the end zone for the first time. And long throw is caught. Tiptoeing down the sidelines is Crocker. And finally steps out at about the 5-yard line.
Caught him in zone defense, and they've got a few backups right now in the game. Keeps his feet in. Goes right over top of the corner, a little high-low route. We've got a receiver at about 5-7 yards, and another receiver behind that corner at about 15 to 18. And corner stayed up, just threw it right over top of him. Nice, easy read. One of the few we've seen tonight for Anthony Brown.
Crocker, 3 catches tonight, had just 1 for the season coming in. 1st and goal. Brown will keep it, and he'll be knocked down at the 3 of this Utah defense. Still playing with determination.
It's going to be interesting here. This is
ceding nothing.
I know it's 38-3, 5 to go, but this will be fun. Utah and their defense, the pride of their defense. They don't They don't want to give up a touchdown. They want to keep him out of that end zone. It's like a goal line drill in practice, you know, there's pride on the line.
Dive, fighting, reaches the ball across the plane, and is it a touchdown for Oregon? Finally.
What an effort by Travis Dye, considering how this game has gone and considering we've not seen a lot of it from his teammates. One guy you can count on is 26 to fight. Looked like they had him out, but you can see how he spun off of that would-be tackler and then extends. There's the progressive pylon cam that shows you that he does break the play and gets into the end zone.
Talked about the terrific year for rushing touchdowns that Thomas has had, 20. But that's the 15th rushing touchdown for Travis Dye, who inherited the workhorse role, of course, when Vardell went out. Eerily similar score to the first meeting in Salt Lake. That was 38-7, 38-10 now. Famous Bellagio fountains brought to you above by the Goodyear blimp. With every mile on the road to greatness, Goodyear more driven. Monday Night Football. Paying attention to Mac Jones and Josh Allen. The Peyton and Eli Show. We're on ESPN 2, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, 5 Pacific. Good matchup, Patriots-Bills. Steve, Lewis, and Brian with the traditional broadcast on ESPN. Onside kick, you'd think, coming up from Cam Lewis. Gets the big hop. That's well executed, but right into the hands of a Ute. And scooting down the sidelines with the return is Solomon Enos, the wide receiver. So, Rising just trying to pay off the last 5:15 of this game. They'll go back to work from the Oregon 37 after this timeout. Rival player of the game, kind of a tough call. You could go with the Utah defense. Devin Lloyd played a big game with 7 tackles and a pick. But Cam Rising, quarterback who's such a part of this Utah rise, was sharp tonight, Kirk. 15 to 24. Did throw the 2 picks, had a touchdown pass, also the leading rusher on this team tonight.
Yeah, one of the interceptions was just when he got hit, the ball went up in the air. But you look at his yards, he's thrown for 170 yards, you think he's the MVP. But if you've really watched this game and how he plays in this offense, he doesn't have to throw for 350 yards or 400 yards like you see so many quarterbacks doing in today's game. He handles this offense well. They line up in 3 tight ends. They run the ball. They play action. They dink and dunk. Occasionally take a shot. They mix in some option where he runs the ball. He scrambles. He just kind of keeps moving the sticks and scoring points, doing his job.
Complimentary football. Winningham's team.
Yeah.
He's taking great joy and pleasure in coaching this team. We talked about the fact that they were forged by tragedy. Tremendous chemistry and love between them. Great leadership. Thomas again spins back. Talked a lot about Mike Tafua, and Kyle Whittingham was talking about the strong Polynesian component to his team. They have 42 players of Polynesian descent, many of them from the LDS faith, and it's the biggest number that he's had. But they bring a core toughness, and it really is a family atmosphere.
Family.
Regardless of your background,
yeah.
Wherever you come from, you come to Utah, and it's very much of a family background.
And I think, I keep saying it, they embody the personality of their head coach. They really play and take on the way Kyle Whittingham, every year you kind of close your eyes, same kind of characteristics emerge from his football teams. That's why he's been here 17 years as a head coach.
This is Bernard. He will be wrestled down. Holly, of course, you live in Salt Lake. Utah grad, we can say that now. You can show a little pride. Your school's going to the Rose Bowl, but you know what we're talking about in terms of the leadership and the chemistry on this team.
That's right. I mean, everybody's welcome there, and I think that's something that makes me feel proud as an alum. And you think about their left tackle came all the way from London. Olaseni is far, far from home, but he said this is a family, and his emergence at left tackle has really been the thing that solidified Utah's offense and this offensive line late in this season. I know his mom's at home in London watching over the internet, and it's really cool that people from everywhere are welcome there.
Hey, Mom.
Send a long-distance shout-out to London, a place that I love. Obviously, her son, as Bernard pounds forward here, learning football very late, went to a junior college, and at 6'8", Kirk, with those long arms, he's still kind of just raw and learning.
He is. He's got so much in front of him. I want to ask Holly, as an alum, we've been talking about how this team is an incredible team, very talented, but that fan base and those alums, how big a deal is this win, securing a Pac-12 championship and heading to the granddaddy of them all in Pasadena?
Well, I can tell you this, that my father, who was a Utah alum, was in the band, took me to the Rose Bowl as a little girl, and I slept out on the parade route. We never took our own team there, and to be able to do it with Utah this year, I'm just telling you, my dad would be so proud right now.
That's awesome.
It is great. I'm sure so many people feel like that had loved ones that never got to see it, and they will. Rising was telling me he grew up in Southern California, not too far from the Rose Bowl, but those tickets are hard to come by. They're coveted. He could never get a ticket to see a Rose Bowl in person as a kid. Hey, guess what, Cam? Your ticket's been punched, and you're going to get some tickets to give out to friends and family now.
You're the starting quarterback in the Rose Bowl, and he wanted to go. I mean, that's a fairy tale story. Grew up in that area, always wanted to go see the game, and now he's going to walk out there for the coin toss.
And plenty of California guys, always been a big part of the roster. Many of them not recruited heavily by the California schools, come to Utah, and to get to kind of swagger back into the Rose Bowl as Pac-12 champions will be pretty sweet. Misfire before the snap.
77 offense, 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Take a look at the All-State playoff predictor. Now, this is based on the team's chances of winning their game.
Are these your picks?
I had nothing to do with the input here. Georgia, 99%, because win or lose,
they're in.
Looks like they're in. Now, Michigan, given the 86% chance of beating Iowa, I don't know.
Why would Georgia be 100%, you think? I mean, win or lose, they're in.
Nothing's 100%.
Okay, all right.
Check out ESPN.com/All-State playoff predictor to get more info on the team's chances.
If there's chaos tomorrow, I mean, what happens if Georgia wins and Iowa wins and Houston wins and Baylor wins? What would happen?
All right,
really?
go to work. Draw it up for us.
What if Baylor were to win,
okay,
and Georgia were to win, and Houston were to win, and Iowa were to win? Who in the world goes? They go. Bear says they would still go.
They would still go, huh?
What about down here, Bear, at the bottom? Notre Dame would be in, right? Who else? I mean, would Baylor go in? Would Ohio State get in? Who? Bear says maybe Ohio State.
I think there's a good possibility if they go back to best four. That a lot could happen. Based on what we've seen this season, it isn't impossible in that scenario. Down. Chris Curry's gotten a couple carries in the last minute here, and Kyle Whittingham.
Look out!
Look out! Oh, the second time in 13 days. It looked exactly what happened in Salt Lake City, but this one's sweeter. Pasadena dreams will be realized for the Utah Utes. Headed to the Rose Bowl for the first time in program history. Emphatic champions of the Pac-12 as they hammered the Ducks again. You saw Devin Lloyd. There's Rising. So many guys. This seems so unlikely, like an impossible dream at 1-2 this year. But they found a way to turn it around. They found a spark, and man, did they finish strong. And they're going to be formidable for anybody out of the Big Ten. Down to Holly with Kyle Whittingham.
Coach Whittingham, in a season like this, with the pain and the loss, how do you describe this moment, a historic moment for your team to be so resilient?
It's tough to describe. It's what we've been through. Just so proud of these guys. We have great leadership on this football team. They hung in there. They went through incredible adversity. We love our boys, Ty and Aaron. We miss them, but they were here with us tonight.
The resilience of this group and the unity, you can feel it. Why were they able to come out in such a dominant fashion tonight?
Just that's who they are. They've got high character, great leadership, as I mentioned, great work ethic and work habits during the week. And I can't remember when I've had more fun coaching a football team.
Coach, you've been in this game a long time as a player, an assistant, and now as a head coach. Your first trip to the Rose Bowl, how do you describe that?
Surreal. Surreal. So proud of our guys, and they deserve that experience. They absolutely deserve that.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Holly.
Gotta love Kyle Whittingham. He's a stoic. It takes a lot to get him choked up, to bring tears to his eyes, but this is a lot. He wouldn't talk about the Rose Bowl. He wouldn't spend 1 second talking about the Rose Bowl because he knew this was going to be a challenge, or he sensed it. Turns out his team was more than ready for it.
How do you
incredible ride.
How do you not love this program? How do you not love these players, what they've been through, the way they play for each other, their head coach, their assistants? What an organization.
Let's hear from Cam Rising now. Back to Holly.
Well, Cam, you talk about a decisive moment in your life. You didn't get the job as a starter. You were overlooked, but why did you stick around, and why were you named a captain in that dark moment of your life to be here today?
Just my teammates, they're always there for me, always give me motivation, and it makes it easy to come in every day and just keep putting your best foot forward. And I'm just glad to be here with these guys. It's a great team. I love those guys.
You grew up as a kid in California, wishing you could go as a fan to the Rose Bowl. What will it be like for you to now go leading your team and starting on that field?
It's an unreal feeling. I can't wait to get there. It's going to be fun, but I'm going to celebrate this one right now and look forward to that coming up. Yeah.
Everybody describes you as having it. Whatever it is, you have it. Why are you the leader that you are for this group of people?
Just because these guys right here behind me, they make it easy, and I just love being around them, and that's why we have so much fun together and get the job done, really.
California native, we'll see you in the Rose Bowl.
Go Utes.
Thank you, Holly. While he was talking to you, this was the Sewell family. Nephi and his younger brother and parents. A beautiful moment for a football family. And we'll have the often overlooked Sewell brother Nephi is going to play in Pasadena.
There's this leader. Talked about Cam Rising being a leader. There's the leader on defense. What an impressive career he's had. Came in, voted the MVP tonight, came in. The only other offers, originally UNLV, Boise State came in late, self-made to become the leader and the face of that defense.
Yeah, self-made to become a high first-round draft pick, Butkus Award finalist. He and Tafua, the two generals really on that defense, and we have to focus mostly on this Utah defense. That's the reason they're going to represent the Pac-12 in the Rose Bowl for a second consecutive game against Oregon. They just dominated from the start.
Whoever draws, on the other side from the Big Ten is going to play a very physical, very disciplined football team. And Cam Rising, the reason we're marveling is because of the way things changed when he got inserted into the lineup after that 1-2 start. And Andy Ludwig, the offense coordinator, you used the word complimentary. That's what they are. They call the offense because of how well they play defense. I feel Todd Monken does that at Georgia very well, and this is another team that has a dominant defense that plays smart on that side of the ball. But you're right, they will parade into Pasadena with that defense leading the way.
Yeah, they'll be full of swag, and we'll see who they're going to play. I mean, that's to be decided in the Big Ten Conference Championship game. It's hard to say that there's anything bigger for a Big Ten champ than the Rose Bowl, but Michigan is playing, of course, for a spot in the college football playoff. And if the Wolverines do conquer Iowa in Indy Saturday night, then Ohio State would represent the Big Ten against Utah in the Rose Bowl. Michigan a double-digit favorite, but Kirk, I go back to these pressure situations in championship meets. Michigan has not been there. Cincinnati really hasn't been there to this degree. Oklahoma State has not been there. How do they all handle it?
Right. And Bear, you're coming in to join us here. Do you want to add anything, any kind of scenario, or you want me to X out a team that you think could be an interesting scenario, or maybe the most logical in the way it could turn out tomorrow?
No, and what Chris hit on there, I think it's an interesting facet of all of this. Remember the BCS era? It always seemed like 1, 2, or 3 was losing on the final weekend of the season. In the playoff era, we have not had those massive upsets where teams favored by a large amount of points have lost. If you take the big favorites from the American and the Power 5, they're 27-1. The only upset was that Oregon win over.
Well, with that said, Bear, let's go through it. Baylor, Oklahoma State. Who's going to win that game?
You would think Oklahoma State, especially if Baylor has a backup quarterback.
Georgia, Alabama. Who's going to win that one?
Georgia should win, but would it shock you if Alabama pulled the upset?
But we can't pick both, so they lost. Houston and Cincinnati. Who's going to win?
Cincinnati will win that game.
Okay, and then Michigan and Iowa.
Michigan will win that game.
Okay, so what we're left with would be Georgia, right?
Yep.
Michigan would be 2.
Mm-hmm.
Cincinnati would be 3. Oklahoma State would be 4.
Right, that's a pretty straightforward, cut and dry situation.
Okay. Of course, it may not happen that way, but
it probably won't.
There's several scenarios that could unfold.
Well, I think it's a good point. We've seen the pressure of the moment get to teams. I think by and large, though, the teams that have played for conference championships, big, would you say, in recent years, have been experienced. Clemson's been there, Alabama's been there, Oklahoma's been there, Ohio State's been there. I think when you put fresh teams, and it's new for them, I think it's fascinating to see how it's going to play out.
Of course.
I mean, Oklahoma State handled Baylor. They dominated them defensively in Stillwater, but now it's a whole different vibe in Arlington.
Hey, Bear, if you're a Cincinnati and Oklahoma State and Notre Dame fan, you were polling for Georgia to take Bama out, right?
Yes, you want Alabama out of there with that second loss.
If Alabama wins, which would put both them and Georgia in, and if Michigan wins, now you're fighting over one spot for Cincinnati and Oklahoma State to argue over.
And then that's the age-old undefeated Group of 5 champ versus a one-loss Power 5 conference champ. And you look at the resumes, the resume probably has Oklahoma State with better quality wins. But then you might just say Cincinnati is simply better, and that's fine too. And that could be what we're arguing tomorrow night.
Yeah, be some arguments, no doubt. Well, the roses are out here in Las Vegas, and the trophy is getting set to be presented here. So let's get down to the field, crown the 2021 Pac-12 champions, presented by Dr. Pepper. PA announcer Jamie Coffey.
Fans, please direct your attention to the north end zone for the 2021 Pac-12 Football Championship Game Trophy presentation, presented by 76.
Well, fans, it is an honor to welcome you to the Pac-12 2021 Championship Award presentation. Congratulations to Utah on an excellent season, a difficult season, and outstanding performance tonight. Before we award tonight's MVP and championship trophy, we'd like to say congratulations to both Oregon and Utah for incredible seasons. This game is made possible tonight thanks to the support of the City of Las Vegas, our friends at Allegiant Stadium. How beautiful is this building? LVCVA, the Raiders, MGM Resorts World, and our presenting sponsor, 76. Their collective effort has made Pac-12 football, this championship game, a national showcase for the Pac-12, and it's greatly appreciated by the student athletes, coaches, and fans. And now it is time to announce the most valuable player of the 2021 Pac-12 football championship game from Utah. The MVP award goes to Devin Lloyd, presented by Commissioner George Kliavkoff. So Devin Lloyd, you told us earlier this week that when this team plays together, you would put them up against any team in the country. Why is this such a unified unit, group, and family?
Man, just the adversity we faced this year, everyone just bought in, and everyone just loved each other throughout the whole season. We believed, there was no doubt, and we came out on top. Man, I love y'all, man. I love y'all. I love y'all, man.
You guys did. You did have to pull together. This is an unimaginable season that nobody could think of, the tragedy and yet the triumph as this group. How do you honor the men and the teammates that you lost this season?
By getting them this right here, man. This is for them. Halo time, man, this is for you, man. We love y'all. We love y'all from the bottom of my heart.
Congratulations again to Devin Lloyd. What a fantastic player. And on behalf of the Pac-12 Conference, we'd like to congratulate President Taylor Randall. President, where are you? There we go. Athletic Director Mark Harlan, congratulations. And now it is time to present the 2021 Pac-12 Football Championship Trophy to Utah coach Kyle Whittingham. Whittingham, your team has come so close before. You've played in this championship game before and not been the winners. How does this feeling right now to carry that trophy and present it to your captains up here on this stage?
It's incredible. So proud of these guys. Thank you to all the fans who supported us all year long. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. And as Devin said, this is for Ty and Aaron. This is for Ty and Aaron.
Thank you all, and thank you to the Utah family. Thank you to all of the Oregon fans. What a wonderful championship. I present to you your 2021 Pac-12 football champions, the University of Utah.
You know, Lloyd's pick six gave the Utes the only points they would need, as many as they would need back in the first quarter.
Yeah, what an impressive guy, too. We had a chance to speak with him this week. The fans got a chance to hear him there talking about how much he loves his teammates. You know, you get around some of these teams, and we're in a world right now where players sometimes get caught up in their own individuality and what they're trying to achieve. Utah is such a great example of a team and loving each other and playing for each other and being driven to be accountable to one another. Very fitting that they have that shirt on that says champs and they're headed to the Rose Bowl.
Early Christmas present as Santa makes a cameo. Well said, Kirk. The power of the collective.
Yes.
U of U is all about unity, and it's been powerful to watch down the stretch, and it'll be fun to watch in Pasadena again, as this program will be the 45th to play in the granddaddy of them all, New Year's Day, against either Iowa, if they beat Michigan, or Ohio State, if Michigan prevails. Well, it wasn't a close game, but it was a celebration of a lot of what Utah stands for tonight. 38-10, the resounding final as the Utes head for Pasadena. Game produced by Bill Bonnell, directed by Derek Mobley. Our excellent crew here, wishing you a happy holidays. We will see you in the postseason. And of course, stay tuned Sunday for the announcement of the 14 bracket. Except on the West Coast, your local news are up next in most of these ABC stations.